for the birds. Those of you born into this world different than the rest because of your gifts. See, the world has tried to reject you, hate you, and alienate you because of your gifts. To make you separate, to hold you down, to clip your wings so bird you cannot fly anymore. This one's for you. Turn it up.
I wish I was a bird so I could fly away, but I am no bird, so on the ground did I will lay. Take me away from all these killing fields of hate where we're held at bay, and make me fly or let me die, 'cause I can't take even one more day.
Every night when I pray, what I say, God help the love to fly high away. 'Cause I'm sick of the planet, devil, damn it, I wanna kill it, that's why I shy away. Brainwaves in a telekinetical kind of state, I'm lying wide awake. I'm up inside of my pineal gland, of what a metaphysical man that is tied to fate. The mind might get grandiose, even though the world I'm living like a barrio. See, wherever the mind goes, where the body goes, and I keep my mind high, so what's adios. Goes in a world full of snakes, they're striking with venom, open and beginners, beginning again, I'm a secular minimum, driven with a finger would hit him, it's only begin together, every bit of the wicked rhythm.
I just wanna fly, but they don't wanna see the phoenix rise. Lay down and die, clipping my wings and hope I will survive. I wish I was a bird so I could fly away, but I am no bird, so on the ground did I will lay. Take me away from all these killing fields of hate where we're held at bay, and make me fly or let me die, 'cause I can't take even one more day.
It's like I'm looking for a witness with the path of enrichment. I'm trying to force out the wicked and pay for repentance, 'cause I walk with the death like I'm sick, heart beats like a Christian compared to the rest. With furry curls on my neck, I'm trying to keep blood on my flesh like a bird. I wish I could fly away, like suddenly 100 miles away. Why? I don't really feel the same from my campaign, and I be feeling all alone like they can't hang. I'm in the valley of the death, about to take brains. I guess I'm kinda psycho-whacking with this octane. When you mix elements, it gets unsafe. Lonely mix with the Bible, get low saint. It's something gotta give, I'm tired of this war pain. It's something got me in a chopper with the whore thing. Step into a vision when I get to ride, you don't wanna run up on the spirit, carry a victim, I believe I'm burning. Every time I touch a microphone, I really leave them hurting. Angels deceive them, will leave you a corpse. If you see me coming, you should know that I get ready for whatever. If you want it, we can get it, double murder flows. Every syllable that you be hitting, people spitting at me, doesn't matter, chew upon the shits for the birds.
I wish I was a bird so I could fly away, but I am no bird, so on the ground did I will lay. Take me away from all these killing fields of hate where we're held at bay, and make me fly or let me die, 'cause I can't take even one more day.
They hate what God made, I unravel my DNA and I place it before the planet, and granted gets thrown away. They don't like that I'm speaking something that's different than common say, and they slip in my wings and shackle my body to hold it bay. But I really wanna bust up out that box that I've been locked in, showing everybody that I can take flight when the brain maintain that oxygen. Came with the pain that I hang with a few screws loose and a neurotoxin. Shame on the herds and the bang on the birds and the valley of death that I'm boxed in.
I wish I was a bird so I could fly away, but I am no bird, so on the ground did I will lay. Take me away from all these killing fields of hate where we're held at bay, and make me fly or let me die, 'cause I can't take even one more day.
No, you're fucking wrong. No, you're fucking wrong. Stop it. Get out of my fucking head. 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 Get out of my fucking head.
I'm crawling back into my own mind,
parasitic to myself, I am my own demise. No disguise when I'm face to face with my own eyes. See the soggy tears I hide from the shed of light. Just give up the fight and recite a lullaby, cause suicide is just the beginning of goodbye. The key to life is really what you see inside, and tonight I break this veil and cross the line. I'm so explosive and hopeless, can't cope with shit. A poster kid of depression, suicidal idiot. Fucking anger fits made up by imagination. I'm going crazy, losing it. I'm drowning in this booze again. I'm blowing up your phone again. Just fucking answer it before I open up this vest and fucking bleed again. Punching holes in walls, bloody fist, devastation. I finally destroyed all of what God made me.
Spirit trapped in this flesh, I see no escape except to die. No more can I accept the lie, so I will just say lost souls don't go anywhere but between this world and the next, though I tend to lean towards moving on, but negative emotions have me anchored to the grave. So I just sit here posting like an afterthought, follow my people around, can't interact, better off in the ground. Get to see who really down and who fake, who let me down, wish I can fix all mistakes. Regret builds my prison, I try to escape. Chains of purgatory pull me back, is this my fate? All the hate molds me to malevolent wraith, wishing harm on those I love, wanting all of them to taste my own hell, not cause they did me ill. The solitude drives me mad while I just sit still. The world moves on, how am I supposed to feel? Ghostly apparition in the corner only wants to kill. Spirit trapped in this flesh, I see no escape except to die. No more can I accept the lie, so I will just say goodbye.
Bounce, motherfucker.
Ribs are cracked, chest wide open, alone in the dark and you always hoping for this to be the day that you get to jump up, lose your the flesh and throwing up. You've been dead 3 weeks by now, another punk kid nobody yet found. Restricted been known to fucking raise the dead. Now get your ass up and nod your head, tell the reaper you ain't ready, bitch get bent. I was never invited, I was always the outcast, freaking all black in the back of the class, staring at the G-strings as the bitches walk past. I don't care if you think you know me, I ain't the same kid from back in the day. Even back when I was thinking about ways how to spill your brains and bloody the hallways. I'm right where I need to be right now. After all this shit, I survived somehow. Storming the underground, rocking the mic. This wicked shit, homie, this is my life. Pass me the axe, I'ma swing it back, keep chopping at your chest, split your body in half, spill guts out your ass. You can't raise the pants, watch your life in your eyes, you will face black.
Down with the madhouse, not giving a fuck now. Bounce, jump, bounce, jump. If you here with us tonight, you forget your city life. And bounce, jump, bounce, jump. If you know what we about, slap a hater in the mouth. And bounce, jump, bounce, jump. When you dragging you a body, you just up the body count. And bounce, jump, bounce, jump.
Never would've thought it would've come to this, so I'm making up my mind and chose the sickest, wicked man restricted, make them jump and lose their mind. I'm sick of waiting on the side, out the room and making moves, latching on your leg and spitting blood up in the vocal booth. I'm floating in and making it rumble. I smash the glass on the ground, then I pour up a double. I'm trouble, my hand around your mouth and keeping it muffled. I'm jumping up and down on your head like a monkey in the jungle. Let's make it move to the sound of the beast, you know we're killing it. I know you hear us when we stomp our feet, it's madhouse all in unison. Moving all in space and time, down and up is how we shine. Reaching up and watch me climb, I make them jump just one more time.
Down with the madhouse, not giving a fuck now. Bounce, jump, bounce, jump. If you here with us tonight, you forget your city life. And bounce, jump, bounce, jump. If you know what we about, slap a hater in the mouth. And bounce, jump, bounce, jump. When you dragging you a body, you just up the body count. And bounce, jump, bounce, jump.
I'm elevated. So stop if you hate it. I'm waiting and thanking the heights that we reaching. Let the sound just lift you. There ain't no ground to go back to. Oh no, then take a look around you. Just like that, the whole world, it just left you. This time I'ma make you pop. Jumping in, give me what you got. Everyone, I'ma make them jump. Bet your ass that we won't stop.
Somebody take me away about this place before I go insane. I'm about to blow my brains from out my skull into the walls, and in the stain you'll see my pain. This world has left me broken, hoping that one day you all will hear the words that I have spoken. I feel as if I'm choking, paying for this path I've chosen. Every time I close my eyes, I see the face of the chest I open. Chest I open. Chest I open. Chest I open. Chest I open.
My brain leak on the paper like a pain drill. Never feels better than when the rain hit. I speak of nothing but the insane shit. Are you ready to learn my language? My brain leak on the paper like a pain drill. Never feels better than when the rain hit. I speak of nothing but the insane shit. Are you ready to learn my language? Ever since a tadpole, I've always been a slimy one. Trouble to misfit, living this shit, the grimy one. You've been waiting for your new king, well I have come. Bow your heads and taking place in the asylum. I'm sicker than killing kittens, the Lophosaurus I'm spitting. The wicked is my intention, with enemies in the mission. Listen, this is not fiction, I have come to make it real. If I have to, I will kill, prophecy be fulfilled. Call it the will of the gods or the will of the devils, but really I believe in none. So sorry for your troubles, I have come with a shovel, bury you deep in a hole. My feelings I can't control, so I gotta take your soul. With a mug like Rocky Dennis and an evil with Dennis. Ugly and understatement, I'm a downright menace. You with me to hit the scrimmage, make the push in the first. We brutal up in this business, this is sick and it's worse. My brain leak on the paper like a pain drill. Never feels better than when the rain hit. I speak of nothing but the insane shit. Are you ready to learn my language? My brain leak on the paper like a pain drill. Never feels better than when the rain hit. I speak of nothing but the insane shit. Are you ready to learn my language? Another verse for the worst, with heads that hurt, the downtrodden, forgotten, but still walking this earth. Then my motherfucking people, fuck the steeple, I'm a gutter motherfucker, yeah, ain't just be looking evil. They be fucking your mad minds and cutting your landlines and leading you to the slaughter to damn your life is past prime. Sick, intelligent, mainstream is irrelevant. I'm loving the underground. We a new breed of elephants, stomping the opposition. The competition is none. No, we wicked, dark, shine brighter than the sun. Enemies come, I am done with the beat around. I watch as I beat them down and sit there and bleed them out. Y'all don't want nothing with the team. Brutal is the business, we murder the scene. No. I kill a bitch when it's time, we be a virus spreading all across the land, no. My brain leak on the paper like a pain drill. Never feels better than when the rain hit. I speak of nothing but the insane shit. Are you ready to learn my language? My brain leak on the paper like a pain drill. Never feels better than when the rain hit. I speak of nothing but the insane shit. Are you ready to learn my language?
This is Morbid Psychosis, and you're listening to Uncovering the Underground with your boy Skippy Ickham. Brutal Business Ent, baby.
Got a Charlie no Sheen. Now we out on the scene, popping the shit you be thinking is pills. I got the shawty, I gave her a thrill. This a big 80, we dropping that bomb with a hoe in the hoe. I feel like Santa Claus. Me and country never pause. Alice Cooper Buckethead, I'm a boss. Hey, disco party, drop the ball like it's New Year's Eve and they in awe. Give me a kiss, scaring the shit out of them. They take a piss, locked and loaded. I got the potion, damn. Don't you run off with that drip, bitch. Once I get up, they gon' swallow my dick. I got that Nike symbol for my kicks. Hey, flicker the wrist, breaking that shit down the white like it's split. Breaking them guts up into the middle. No, I ain't first place, still ain't middle. I'm getting bigger, y'all just getting little. Little store, you a critter. Hey, beats and lean, more like drinking straight out of that bottle. I'm in that Hyundai, a fucking Elantra. Ain't no PR and I'm driving up on ya. Cooling my lyrics down like it is summer. I got a lemonade stand for your daughter. Come get this lemonade, sir. He bought it. Throwing that shit in the air and I lobbed it. Dripping, I'm leaking straight out of the faucet. Hey, straight out of the faucet. Ooh, and I'm seeing red for a target. Got a cherry, man, just pray it don't pop it.
I be fucking hoe across the border. Talking bomb, pussy, kitty mortar. I'm collecting money like a hoarder. Sharp tongue, cut the beat, torture. Mind miffing, mission never needed. Ass kissing, different niggas leaving. Blood drip on the path of bleeding. Bills crip, blue strip for beating. I'm defeated, price stay sedated. I ain't even trying, other niggas hate it. See, I went and got another niggas waiting. You been making money, making then they play it. When the killer pussy, eat it or I flay it. Can't get too specific, living if I say it. 24 a day, I'm working out a day. 24 a brick, I'm flipping in a race. Fucking chucks and middle fingers, never fake it. Swear the way you live is hella basic. Play a role, you working in amazement. So underground got 7 in my basement. I hate all you niggas like I'm racist. Fed the truth, but blunt, you gotta face it. Take it straight, I know it's hard for all you fools who barely knew you niggas cannot chase it. Send a spit a clip, I'm spraying flips and shit up on some other shit, I'm shitting greatness. Liquid gold upon my mouth and lips around us, drooling out, you wishing you could taste it. Got it dripping, vomit off and licking water in the kitchen like I'm trying to lake it. Pay attention, me and Jay are winning, keep the record spinning, bangers in rotation, metal.
Woke up, started with a bomb rip. At the table, need a second chair from a long dick. Talk shit, but I'll make a point to keep it honest. Post it up in my crib daily with a goth bitch. You not shit, I literally got lit. Spit him in your wrist and you could dream of right upon this. Sipping broth, bitch, Ridge ain't got shit. I'm eating up the beat and I completely fucking lost it. Killing beats every day like it's medication. People steady waiting for me up in every nation. Do what I want and don't take shit from no one. And do call me a dick, I said his daughter sure can blow one. I'm an asshole and I know that I'm your favorite rapper. Text a girl and said what's up and homie, she got naked after. Found out everything you little pussy didn't do shit. Do the world a favor and go tie yourself a noose, bitch. Gotta slow down, man, I'm getting too nasty. Hitting the loud and that shit gets me laughing. This shit is like magic, I'm lit, it's fantastic. It's been hard from the womb, bro, I didn't need practice. I'm busy with rapping, don't hit me with that shit. Crying, complaining like this is so tragic. I'm mesopelagic like up and above. We all share this passion, it's brotherly love. But now I'm back to talking shit, I always stay on top of this. I always do a lot of it, and now when I gotta piss because I'm always tearing it up. Swear this fun be blowing up in Canada, bro. Making worldwide moves, still ain't shit changed. I'm the greatest rapper everybody loves to hate. Your girl's my big fan, she said I love you, Jay. Seconds later on her knees and I fucked her brain.
What up, everybody? It's your man Skippy Ickham of Brutal Business Entertainment, and I'm very excited to bring to you Anthems from the Asylum, an exclusive mixtape from the label you won't find anywhere else. It's that hardcore shit for your ear pussy, bitch. Yeah, listen.
There's too many people rapping now, it feels like it's everyone. But yo, I'm a veteran, which means that you'll better run. Who's your favorite rapper, bitch? Nah, pick a better one. Either way, I'll bring the darkness like the setting sun. I set fire to your dreams, do it just for fun. I'm Tupac and Biggie, I'm Big L and Pun mixed in a pot, now I'm spewing it back on every track that I smash when I'm unleashing my rap. I got your girl with my Sukasa, I'm breaking her back, and after that she jerked me off, but she be sucking my sack. We jump inside the whip and now we heading out from my pad right back towards your place. Why? Cause I'm giving her back. She thought that I was gonna wipe her, but that shit made me laugh. I was only in it for the ass, she's only in it for the cash. I never cared for your baby, besides that pussy was trash. Might have been a John to you, but I ain't giving you jack, nah.
I burn the game, yo better get some ointment. I'm doing all of this just for my enjoyment. This the battlefield, I'm ready for deployment. You wanna test your fate, kid, and leave it to the coin flip.
I'm blown colder, yet spit fire like a flamethrower. Fire any shots through your Range Rover. Hollow point, game over. Watch your body burn, watch it smolder. You'll never grow older, motherfucker, I'm a soldier, so no remorse for an enemy dead. There's no sorrow lurking in this head. True psycho. And when I aim, I'm busting for your head. I cock back, now I'm dressed in red. True psycho. I like to pause for dramatic effect. I like to pause while I'm choking your neck. I like to kick back and crack a cold one because your boy is blessed. Celebrate life while I watch your death. There's no respect, so who's next? Who's fucking with the tyrant? You're small time, I'm a motherfucking giant. I'm live on stage, my presentations are timeless. You died on stage, your shit is boring and lifeless. I'm burning the game, yo better get some ointment. I'm doing all of this just for my enjoyment. This the battlefield, I'm ready for deployment. You wanna test your fake kid and leave it to the coin flip. The drugs that you're taking, clouding out your optics. Games that you're playing on fun, fucking stop it, it's nonsense. Don't make me come up with concoctions to take you out using my rage and sharp objects. I'm the type to punch you dead in the face. Breaking your house at night, I'll leave you fucking dead in your place. I'm the angel with death, and yes, my presence is great. Capture your soul for eternity, my minion and slave. There's no escape, no getting away from the anger and rage. Bear witness to my fury and flames. The same one that'll beat you to death without breaking a sweat. The one that had your girl screaming his name. It's Ickham. Had enough of all this hip-hop shit because rap now is trash with these dudes sucking dick, dressing like little faggots while they acting like a bitch. You getting smashed like glass when I crack your ribs because I'm burning the game, yo better get some ointment. I'm doing all of this just for my enjoyment. This the battlefield, I'm ready for deployment. You wanna test your fake kid and leave it to the coin flip?
Set strict to the in a prison. Humans we like radios. We wanna be heard, but refuse to listen. Desperate to connect. Too many voices without it. Brave to hero. The station swimming through an auditory maze. We're all the same. Showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind. Let our frequencies combine. We're all the same. Showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind. Let our frequencies combine. Living becomes clockwork. We're barely getting by. We've forgotten how to love. I look into each other's eyes. Memories and time exchange for waves. We're driving the same routes. We can sleep in a haze. We're all the same. Showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind. Let our frequencies combine. We're all the same. Showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind. Let our frequencies combine. Frequencies combine. Frequencies combine. Frequencies combine. Frequencies combine. Shift your eyes from the mirror to the sky. Listen to the stations of our lives. Let our frequencies combine. We're all the same, showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind, let our frequencies combine. We're all the same, showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind, let our frequencies. We're all the same, showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind, let our frequencies combine. We're all the same, showing teeth and we're in pain. Let me dial into your mind, let our frequencies combine. Frequencies combine. Frequencies combine.
brain like a violent ghost. Bit buster, I'm bringing the muster. I feel about to aim at the common folks. A nuclear weapon that's made by iron. Forming the path from the essence of time. Free for the light, live by the rights, live by the tools of my eye. Look at the dead, do it for the bitches. Gather my army ear by ear. Just like a zombie, no hint to fear. What's this in your little book? It's not, cause I'm prepping the end of days to a fucking page. Giving you a taste of Armageddon before you see the grave. Call up every god you ever knew, water can seek to find. Once it's dark as incantation, the world is now left behind. Swallowed by the beast, contributed to a dark condition. From back in the sun, you're a sacrifice for the new vision. Listen to the static, it's in sync to the ground beat. Force an altercation when the soil change. Nobody's safe, now we're here for fresh. You ain't get this planet, just what it's due. I place purpose on this plate, I must stand true. Step to the other side, line to the river. We make the night on the tide from the same time. Open up your eyes to a world that is so much better. So much better. Free from the restriction of something more reserved. Let's take it to a different system inside of the earth. I'm gonna bend your mind, impose my own will. With operation, wait the dead to roll new. Hello, my legion, got someone who slits next. Who needs no introduction for his skills when in my specs. I present to you, Lex the Hex Master.
Tonight, you've been initiated. Bow your head and take this burden. Darkness is your newest situation. Next level's murder. Welcome to my inner circle. Most will never witness. You my newest henchman. Time to grab your sword and do my business. And no worry about forgiveness. There's no redemption, just business. And business couldn't be better. We in the service of killing, cat billing, and casket filling. Just think of it in these terms. You change the course of history. Every gap you sense to the earth. And in turn, I'll make you eternal. Immortal, never be seen. Become the shadows or a figment of these pussy niggas' sickest dreams. Be their terror, be their nightmare. Total crippling fear. Paralyze them with the horror. That shit that bring them to tears. So do you pledge your allegiance? Promise swear on this pistol to always kill with conviction. Leave the scene with no witnesses. Always move with the swiftness. Murder without a question. Question. And I will be your biggest blessing. Step to the other side, fly to the river. We make the night on the tide for the seventh time. Open up your eyes to a world that is so much better. So much better. Free from the restriction of something more reserved. Let's take it to a different system inside of the earth. I'm gonna bend your mind, impose my own will. With operation, wake the dead to roll new.
Magnolia. I cannot control you. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. I say nice to know ya. Smoking woods, Magnolia. I cannot control you. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. I say nice to know ya. 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 Smoking woods, Magnolia. I cannot control you. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. Running this shit, we ain't playing no games. Talking my shit, ain't no fucking with lanes. Fuck on your accounts like my name was Rick James. I'm the sinister minister, remember my name. Stick my dick in your bitch and I'm grabbing her throat. Squeezing the grip while I'm watching her choke. Finger fucking filling every hole that I nut and I'm blasting me neutron that hoe. Looking around, I see no competition. We rolling up woods and get back to the business. We never slow in, we don't do intermissions. We spreading the virus, get down with the sickness. You can't write a verse when you're versing myself. I'm under the radar, I'm coming in still. Stop taking pills, that shit's bad for your health. I'm changing the game like it's calling for help. Wait, none of these pussies fucking safe. Better come at me correct. potential, don't you make me take this further. Get no fucks if you don't close. Masked up with a motherfucking fofo. Slow rolling, I'm pulling up solo. Got your bitch in a motherfucking chokehold. Hey, running and gunning, talk shit and I'm busting. Give you a concussion, not up for discussion. No drugs in my system, there's no competition. My mission is giving incisions like wishes. I say nice to know ya. Smoking was Magnolia. I cannot control ya. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola. I say nice to know ya. Smoking was Magnolia. I cannot control ya. Drop this shit, spread like Ebola.
Ghost of the minute. Brutal business entertainment. We coming after everybody. Bodies about to fall, y'all. Get it? Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door. Bring out your corpse. Not keeping score. Got it locked. Figure 4. Hit record. Bring the torches with the horde. Kill them all. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. This ain't a war. It's a massacre. Fuck the world. We'll take on every single challenger. What even loving is this? Same bullshit for 100 songs. I'm all about some shit you never done. Go suck a dong. Fucking cons not ready when I bring the wrath like a fucking con. Hellfire my fucking spine. Hold mics with bloody bombs. Come along, I'll show you death cause you overstep. I'm on with tap, bury you alive, bitch, don't hold your breath. Take that fake chain, asphyxiating till I broke your neck. Raising more hell than Motorhead, hunt y'all like Boba Fett. Fuck these underground rappers too, just little nerds. Clowns on SoundCloud, shout out down, trying to thin the herd. Make the rap game my prisoner, my rhythm sinister. I'm Jack the Ripper with literature, kill them when I get the urge. Been disturbed, I don't give a single fuck about your opinion. Most of these fucking rappers' vocabulary's infant. They catalogs infringement, mine's is just a malignant. You don't wanna go to war with me or my contention. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door, bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked, figure 4. Hit record, bring the torches with the horde, kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger. This world has been corroded and filled with rodents. Motherfuckers think you owe them and looking for a bonus. Without me, you promoters would have crashed like a Bowen. Saints poet, lead them then like Moses, bring in bad omens. I'm done with acting civil, bite the hand, get crippled. Opportunists all around, even fucking fans are fickle. Only there with you on top, treat us as sacrificial. Past the pistol, now I'm the devil dancing in the middle. Start with ignoramuses, send them down where Hades lives. Not a fucking thought in their brain, they all just plagiarists. I'm dangerous, aim is miscellaneous, don't play favorites. Don't give a fuck with you, a pagan, atheist, or Satanist. Better watch what you're doing inside my backyard. Don't let us catch you moving heroin powder to black tar. Turn you to track stars, repercussions faster than NASCAR. Brutal business logo on your corpse, your villain still at large. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door, bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked, figure 4. Hit record, bring the torches with the horde, kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger. B1B don't play warrior on the keyboard. We'll strap your whole fucking family to some seaboard. Your hunchback, live your mama's basement. Your ego motherfucker put you on a detour right to the seafloor. Always brutal, ain't no time for the cry babies. Most millennials like ladies while I'm spitting rabies. They hear some shit they don't like and run to find safety. I know that God hates me, I'm Satan's Tom Brady. Get on your Twitter and blog, go eat your top pies. One violence don't need a call, so fuck a dialogue. One body's outlined in chalk all on the sidewalk. Can't get in a church or a mosque, I wonder why not. If I offended you, I humbly don't give a fuck. Middle finger permanently up, bitch, don't interrupt. Feel like Thanos, I'd much rather turn them to dust. Could go on forever like Sisyphus, cause this is us. Is this war? Is it more? Break down the door, bring out your corpse. Not keeping score, got it locked, figure 4. Hit record, bring the torches with the horde, kill them all. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. This ain't a war, it's a massacre. Fuck the world, we'll take on every single challenger.
You got this gift for a reason, man. Use it. Never give up. Never give in. If you gotta go deeper, then go deeper. Fuck it, dude. This is it. Show them who you are. Stop hiding. You are not a coward. I'ma show you hate, I'ma show you pain. I'ma prove to you a birth to dominate the game. Lyrically insane, it's the same since my temporary range. How my brain's trained, leading me to pummel while you lame. I'm a fucking beast, coming coming out the east, admittedly psychotic. Tried to take away my life like literally I got it. Been on medication since I was a little kid, then got arrested for the only fucking shit that helped me live. Pansy motherfuckers used to laugh at me for how I dress and how I rap to be a white. The judgment made me fucking stressed. It got me tempted by my demons, turned them to a bloody mess. Fucking with a monster speech to murder them inside their chest. It's the fame they wanted me to grab. It's a name that I have. It's a shame how they laugh. Take a look at me, beating everybody's ass. So much talent, all your kids be bumping me when they're in class. Here I come, Mr. One Up. No fearing ya, it's the come up. Hitting ya, I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon. Here I come, Mr. One Up. No fearing ya, it's the come up. Hitting ya, I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon. You're gonna keep lying to people, disguising an evil. Get high with a needle. You're a liar. You might just die in a steeple. You're just a guy, and my eyes are so feeble. Not buying you sheeple. This time I'll put your mind on my easel. Yeah. Remember telling everybody how I'm mentally unstable. Just accept me and be nice because my mindset wasn't able to think at your level. I think I'm a rebel. You think I'm the devil. I'm thinking your life began to bevel and shovel. A head full of deception that you fed your parents, bruh. Never to accept the way you hid your fucking heroin, huh? Then you wanna preach to me about how Jesus is my savior, but from what I see, your bitch ass ain't been on your best behavior. Rap's all I got, dog. This is all I fucking know. How dare you ever think my mindset isn't in my own control? And to anyone who thinks I'm out of line and out of mind, can watch me levitate from all these evil flows. Oh, here I come, Mr. One Up. No fearing ya, it's the come up. Hitting ya, I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon. Here I come, Mr. One Up. No fearing ya, it's the come up. I'll be the one up. A demon you ain't mean to summon. Fuck you.
Hey, what up, Lokesters? This is Loke Saint. You're listening to Uncovering the Underground with my man Skippy Ickham on Spreaker Podcast Radio, bringing you nothing but the best in underground music.
Ernie, don't you know how I'll shoot you? Hands up! Now! Drop the knife down! You're hitting children, sir!
I teach my kids beware of the police.
On the ground now!
They are not your friend.
Criminalizers!
They will not help you in time of need.
Okay, right, in the United States, I know my rights.
I don't give a shit! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! This is America!
They wanna criminalize us. Times that we live by the news, take truth to the warp in us. Till the store turn back, strict time for the dork in us. Strict nine to the spine while we trapped in a matrix, just like Morpheus. Cops pop more caps to the back, then baby griddle caps in about Planned Parenthood abortionists. And all they ever wanna do is orphan us. Just to navigate the laws, every single American citizen gotta turn into a contortionist. Open the jaws and cram laws down my throat like I want a gun tote, but they forcing us. They giving the price to bear arms, but I'm sticking to fight to scare harm. Motherfuckers if they horse with us, making the course to dust. I represent we the people, everybody be endorsing us. And we never ever gonna gun forfeit us. They put the fork in us, now we done. If we really wanna get it, we can run. This motherfucker become something better than whatever they done. I'm a crooked cop, clean up a runner, cause I'm sick of seeing my brother's blood run. We need reform, but ain't nobody wanna listen, so I feed the storm and arm up like we're ready for war. Get hardcore and shit.
Innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a segregated with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. Every innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a segregated with the police gang bang. Like a military, they try to criminalize us. Every innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a segregated with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. Every innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a segregated with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. They getting ready. Somebody, anybody tell me why the government running the city telling us lies. Because lies every day you behind enemy lines. When they taking our freedom, don't give a fuck about our lies. Fake news, social media controlling our minds. Fuck the popular opinion, man, I see through the lies. But they portray it to be holy, they deceive with the skies. Wolf leading the sheep, the slaughter was taking in mankind. We need to open up our eyes to the sign, stop being blind. Later the freak, well, like a nation confined. Have the population doing tough and non-violent crimes. It's a sign of the times, how many kind of bonds gonna happen before we find a reason for the rhyme. Many times they commit treason before they try for the crime. How many times they take our freedom just for speaking our minds? For the way that we grind up with little nickels and dimes. While we trying to keep my head up with this shaking and ridiculous. I'm fed up homies doing time for crime that we're victimless. Trying to enlighten my people, no one is listening. They only wanna hear about drugs and change lists. Like I'm talking to myself, like the wind is what I'm pissing in. I'm never gonna be a victim of a battle with a mission. I was born a visionary, but most of the world not visionless. A vision is when we coming together, now we living this. Made in the brave now, made in the cage, and enslaved all the people that took our freedom away. Trying to silence the truth and everything that we say. But I say fuck that, time to load the AK. Time to take this shit back, time to change our way. Cause if we don't change soon, it's gonna be our last day. Gotta look inside ourselves, gotta find a better way. Keep your head up, be strong, and to fight another day. Every innocent American better be ready, going into battle, bloody war like a separate.
realized the difference between us was nothing really listening wiser. Geographical positions made indigenous types of natives all around the world, so why you getting us tied up in the bickering life between a billion sizes, shapes and colors? My brothers and my sisters are riders, and the vision is priceless, which turned into religion was blinded. A war full of infinite fighting, and with a man-made shit you're reciting. If it ain't natural campaigns getting you fighting political matters, though damn shame killing you guys so your riches get catapult. And slaves, niggas ain't trying to give us collateral. Niggas was mad at those freaking citizens fighting in every single condition that they said is inciting. Assassinated our leaders trying to get us some rights and misled us with information that they give us in writing. I got from them, beat the freaking Christian inside them, and it's time to resist, so we put them in an asylum. If we're giving them rights, then put the same laws that we had for the slaves, y'all. Now them niggas are tied in, and the rage inside of them is freaking igniting. Gangs are forming, drugs gotta get it inside them, so they rage on each other now and really we like it. Now we locking on them niggas up more quicker than lightning. But to let them niggas free, they got a prison inside them. Pineal gland with a stigmatism to blinded. Now they lose when it's all, I wonder if they can find it. Since the beginning, opposition getting this blinded. The media feminizing my niggas for prices, and it's all about riches, homie, it's bigger than ISIS. It's bigger than blood, scripts and sickness we fighting. Cause when we fight back, then they criminalize us.
Innocent American, but everybody going into battle, bloody war like a segregating with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. Innocent American, but everybody going into battle, bloody war like a segregating with the police gang bang. Like a military, they try to criminalize us. Innocent American, but everybody going into battle, bloody war like a segregating with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. Innocent American, but everybody going into battle, bloody war like a segregating with the police gang bang. Like a military, everybody better arm up. They getting ready.
I've been out back 14 months for my people. You come over here on this. They don't have guns. They don't have guns. They don't. Why are you hurting these people? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. How do you sleep at night? There is no honor in this. There is no honor in this. There is no honor in this, man. There's no honor in this shit. There is no honor in this shit. There is no honor in what you're doing to these people. No honor.
That beat turns up, we start to fade out. Hold me, shout out when we wild out. Hit it when the crowd shifts, that's when we black out. Grab the mic and control them out. Conscious goes out as we scream out. Hit the stage, feel the bass, that's when we black out. Lose control when we get vicious, that's when we black out. Grab the mic and you get lifted, that's when we black out. Name gets called, my blood starts pumping. Walking the stage, adrenaline rushing through my veins. Got the butterflies fluttering and got my nerves like I just took something. In my chest, feel heart start thumping. All becomes real like the mic I'm touching. I'm about to let it out, leaving knowing nothing. That's when I black out. Energy changes in the room as soon as I hear the first rip. Vision begins to quake like my brain is in a mosh pit. Through the stage, we grab the mic. That's when you know we lost it. Freaking out and going crazy. Oh, you know we love this shit. Now I'm addicted to something that I don't have any control of. Being a maniac up on stage, my one and only true. Living life like a madman, top entertainment, business is brutal. These rhymes are reducing, keep it crazy. You think we need your approval? Lights going out. Mind clocking out. That beat turns up, we start to fade out. Hold me, shout out when we wild out. Hit it when the crowd shifts, that's when we black out. Grab the mic and control them out. Conscious goes out as we scream out. Hit the stage, feel the bass, that's when we black out. Lose control when we get vicious, that's when we black out. Grab the mic and you get lifted, that's when we black out. Starts to fade, shadowed with rage. Now carcass is my name. If Everyone's screaming for crazy, twitching, infected with rabies. New high and it feels amazing. That's when I black out. As the first takes bloody speakers, something takes cool of both of us. Something like a deep possession, but in these numbers we learn trust. Or at least in our primal rage, or states there's something that we found pleasure. So much so that we won't stop the creation and permanently remembered. You're busting the sound and I lose it. Feels like a dream, but it's so lucid. Feels like I'm possessed by a demon, crazy and demented. Step on stage a different person, wicked when we spit these verses. Rain in mental and passion, we get brutal with this business. The lights going out. Mind clocking out. That beat turns up, we start to fade out. Hold me, shout out when we wild out. Hit it when the crowd shifts. That's when we black out. Grab the mic, kick, throw 'em out. Conscious goes out as you scream out. Hit the stage, feel the bass. That's when we black out. Lose control when we get vicious. That's when we black out. Grab the mic and you get lifted. That's when we black out.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast Show. As always, I'm your host, Skippy Yickham of Brutal Business Entertainment, and we have a great show for you tonight. We are interviewing Pittsburgh Rock reggae band FUBAR. Excuse me, I was messing up there. I said rap for a moment, and it threw me off, guys. I apologize. I had rappers on the last few weeks. But we have FUBAR from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a great rock reggae band. I'm a big fan of theirs. I've been excited for the show for about the last month and a half, so we're going to have a good time this evening. Before we jump into that specific interview, we do want to thank our sponsors, Tattooed Scumbag Apparel. You can check them out and all their clothing at tattooedscumbag.com. Again, that's tattooedscumbag.com. Use promo code BBE10 and get 10% off your overall order. They're a great company. They have hoodies, t-shirts, sweatpants, socks, beanies, you name it, they have it. It's comfortable gear. I rock it a lot of my shows, a lot of photo shoots and different things that I do and on a daily basis at home. So make sure you check them out. They got great designs. We want to thank Legion Artwork, R3 Graphics, 5 Milligram Artwork, and Roush Designs, all as our sponsors for the show. We have a fun show for you this evening. Like I said, something a little bit different. If you are listening out there and you want to involve yourself with the show, you can go to Spreaker.com, that's Spreaker.com, or to the Spreaker app in the app market. That'll allow you to instant message us during the show to ask FUBAR questions, to ask, or address things throughout the show and just interact with it because we'd love you to be a part of it. You can check us out not only on Spreaker, but CastBox, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Music, Amazon Music, and anywhere else that you can stream live podcasting. You can listen to us live or after the fact and download the episode, so don't be shy to do so. Share it around to your family and friends, because the more you do that, the bigger and better things we can do. We have a lot of fun things we still want to bring you on this show, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory behind who FUBAR is, and I will go ahead and jump into the interview. FUBAR is an original band from Irwin, Pennsylvania that fuses rock and reggae with punk and ska. They are a traditional four-piece band that has begun playing with a four-piece horn section as well, with influences ranging from bands like Sublime and Slightly Stupid to Rancid and NoFX. From Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath to Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake. FUBAR has played countless shows in venues across southwestern Pennsylvania. They were fortunate enough to recently play some great events in the past few years, including the final Pittsburgh stop of the Vans Warped Tour, Thunder and the Valley Motorcycle Rally, Funky Fest, and Gare Fest, along with several national supporting slots. In October of 2018, they released their newest full-length studio album, The Hunt for Inspiration, across all platforms. Produced by Daniel Blake, the record boasts 11 original tracks, 4 of which feature the Habitat horn section in the band's first venture into brass. Going forward, FUBAR is looking to book more music festivals and other shows to keep promoting their music and having a damn good time doing it. They are already developing new material and preparing to record a new EP in the coming months, and I can tell you I'm a big fan of their last project. I can't wait to see the next, and it's going to definitely be something to look forward to, something to listen. If you haven't checked them out tonight, make sure you do. We'll be playing a couple of their songs and getting to find out who some of the members are behind the scenes. And tonight we have Jake Hirsch on the line. He is rhythm guitar and also vocals for the band, and we're excited to have him on the show and get to find out a little bit about who he is. How you doing tonight, Jake?
Good. How about you, man?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. I apologize. I called you a rap rock band there for a little. We're switching it up. I know you like guys like doing different sounds, but I might have to venture into some rap rock there.
We could change it up. I've heard that our trumpet player can rap.
Okay. So maybe we'll bust out a little lick for you sometime in the middle of a jam.
Could happen.
No, but for real though, it's great to have you guys on the show, and have you on the show, I should say. Love the music, love what you guys are doing, and you're close to home. So it was when I came across you guys a little while back, I think you actually messaged me, and I checked you out. And I'm like, well, damn, it was like a hidden gem right under my nose, and I didn't know it.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. How long you guys been, a band in total?
Well, me and Dave are the two remaining original members at this point. We started in September 2011. We were jamming, and it was just me and Dave and my brother and my friend Tyler, and we started playing in my mom's basement. And it was a lot of fun and everything, but we had a lot of lineup changes over the years and stuff like that. But so about 8 years now.
Okay. Now, which instrument or which position in the band did you find hardest to keep filled?
I guess it's kind of changed as the bass and rhythm guitar before, because I was kind of playing like lead guitar, second guitar, and Dave was playing drums in the beginning. Actually, he's actually an incredible drummer too.
Okay.
But, so we had a bass and the other guitar slot kind of just came and went. They stayed for years, and we produced a record, and then we've made some changes, but we've got bass and drums filled, and it's just, it's not a particular spot that we had a lot of trouble filling. It just kept kind of falling into place as it went, and we kind of got lucky that way.
And you gotta fill it in until it hits those right people to fill those slots, and then you don't need anybody to replace that. It clicks, it connects, and if you got it, you got it, and you know when you have it too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's definitely now we've had the same core 4-piece lineup for going on 3 years now, and we're just super tight with that. We're all really cool with each other. It's really tight friends, and makes it really cohesive to play music together. And we've added the horns, and they're all our friends too, from different bands and different groups of friends. And now we're just all 8 of us, together. It's pretty cool. It works out rather well.
Now, how complex has the writing for new music and things become with you guys now being officially really an 8-piece?
I really didn't even want to think about that when we added the horns. Is how are we going to write new material? And I thought it would be really difficult, but it's kind of the same way it's always been. It's just a little longer. It takes, as we add, we kind of put the 4-piece, section together first. I usually, or me or Dave will write a song, and we'll bring our song to the band, and then they kind of add their own parts as we go. And it's just great, listening to well, we just nailed that, little hook that we put together, and now let's go into this next part. And then we hear what Sam and Anthony and Harry and Pat put together on the horns, and they just kind of like usually come up with a melody or a good horn line, and then teach it down to each other. So we're just kind of playing the same like little parts over and over again to get that, to write that. But I mean, it's really coming together. I can't wait to get this new EP recorded. That's going to be the next thing.
I think it's going to be very exciting, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it, to hear what, the 8 of you can do together, hear what you guys got in store for us. Because like I said, I'm a very big fan of the last album, The Hunt for Inspiration. I really like it.
That record was a lot of fun to make too, but horns for that record were like an afterthought, right? It was like we were in the studio and we just knew that there was another couple of horn bands that Dan was recording at the time, and we were like, all right, well, let's go for it. Let's see what our sounds, our songs sound like with horns. And so it was kind of like we already had the album done, and then we went and added the horns.
Okay, that makes sense.
So now it's going to be like the horns are going to be more part of all the music. Like, I mean, those horns were written incredibly on the last album by Alec from Habitat, and like they really feel like they are natural. But I think the new record is going to, like, the horns are going to feel even more natural because they've been there since the start of all of these songs.
And that does it, because, I mean, the other one filled in very nicely, and you would never know that it wasn't necessarily there, but it's still not written together with the music from the jump, so that it changes up, somewhat of the feel to it, even though both feel very good.
Right.
Interesting. I can't wait to hear it, man. When's the expected? Is there even a talk of a date of when you think it's coming out? Like, is it next year sometime? Is it?
I am really hoping that it's out by spring. I mean, I can't say that really, but I'm going to say that it's going to be out by spring, because I'm just going to we're going to have to whip everybody into shape and get it done. We can do it.
Absolutely, you can do it, man. I got faith in you guys, so it should be pretty cool. Now, so you've been playing guitar for the band, for quite a while. Do you play anything else besides guitar?
Not really. I mean, I dabble in everything. I play a little bit of drums or play a little bit of bass, but really mostly I just stick to, guitar, electric, acoustic, singing, songwriting. I'd like to do keys maybe. I mean, I'd never really played, but it would be cool to pick it up and learn.
I think that would be the easiest transition for someone who's versed at guitar, to be able to switch to the keys or to the piano, because they're very similar. Switching to drums for me, I mean, I'm a guitar player myself for a very long time, and I can really tear it up on a guitar, but if you put me behind a drum set, I go stupid. I can't play a drum set. Like, I don't get the function of it. There's no coordination there. I can shred, but I can't play drums. I don't understand it.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I can get like a basic beat, but whenever you get into like some complicated fills, I'm just like hitting sticks together, hitting rims.
Oh, trust me, I know. And I've had some of my drummer buddies try to show me things before. They're like, it's just simple, man. Try this out. And then I watch it. I'm like, yeah, no, can't do that. That's pretty funny stuff. I can play a little bit of some other things. I can play bass. That's really about it. Bass, guitar, acoustic. I can't do drums. I can sing. I can rap. That's about it. Never been much on the other type of instruments. I feel like I spent so much time getting good at guitar, I couldn't imagine having the time to be good at any other instrument.
Yeah, seriously.
That's great. How did you start out playing? Were you younger, or what age did you start out playing on the guitar?
I was probably like 12 when I started playing guitar, and my friend had like some Walmart guitar, and we would just like strum this completely untuned guitar. My dad bought some acoustic guitars at like a yard sale or something that were like completely untuned, and we're like 12 trying to write songs on these things. And yeah, I mean, this guitar playing took a good while for me to like ever develop any kind of worthy skills to even write a song. But even before that, me and my buddy, he's actually sitting here on the couch, we've been friends for a long time. We were like writing Beastie Boys style rap songs when we were like 12, 13, 14. So, our songwriting goes way back.
Okay, so yeah, you guys, you've dabbled in some different things, which is good, because I mean, that kind of the opposite end of that spectrum. I started out, and I actually do hip hop now, but for the longest time I played metal, played guitar. I still do play guitar, but kind of led away from that and went opposite of that. I didn't start out doing the rap, and now I am. I started out doing the metal, but Same time period. I roughly started out about 12 years old, same as you. So
Yeah.
that's a good time to start out on guitar. You start to try to learn, but yeah, it was a pain in the ass going through those first learning stages. What kind of stuff did you start out playing?
Oh, whenever I finally like actually learned how to play the guitar a little bit, we were playing like exclusively like Blink-182 and Green Day and oh man, all that kind of stuff. Like it was just like all about that like pop punk stuff, and then we just kind of transitioned from there and like went heavier. Like we just went into like more Dead Kennedys, Misfits, and from there like NoFX and like Rancid, and like so eventually I guess it led us down the road to like ska and everything too from that. But it was really like when I first started, we were all about playing like Blink-182 songs and Green Day songs.
Okay, wow, it took a very big evolution and change from there, I guess. I mean, it would have been
No
great,
doubt.
it would have been great that way as well, but I mean, it formed into something much beyond that, I believe. So that's great. Now, obviously, I'm guessing you put a lot of time into your guitar work. If you could take that time and get it back, if you could take all the time that you spent learning and playing guitar and get that back to put it into some other type of art or some other type of hobby, what would you use those hours on?
Oh man, I don't know. I that's a lot of time, but I
That
mean
is a lot of
honestly,
time.
maybe songwriting, maybe like actually like work on like actually composing. If you're trying to like say outside of music, I guess I would have to say like design, like graphic design, because that's like my profession. Which
Okay.
I probably put more time into my profession, than the guitar already, since I have to do it for the band and for work.
Yeah, and then you could have more time. You could be even more versed into it. That's great. It's another thing I was never really good at. I was always a visionary and could do a lot of different great things, but I couldn't do art. I can't draw. I can't do any type of design on the computer. I never had that side of the artistic mind.
Yeah, I like, I'm not like a great like drawing artist but like when it comes to graphics, I can put stuff together pretty quick and, figure out which fonts go well or color combinations. And I don't know, we've always, had a pretty easy time with that since I'm a designer myself, and Dave is a designer and like multimedia guy. He does video and stuff like that. So that's kind of been somewhat of an like easy thing. Like, so we didn't have to hire anybody to do that or like bug anyone to death to try to make graphics for us.
It's nice if you can do it in-house. I mean, that's a great thing to do for anybody. And I know a lot of like hip-hop labels, because I interview a lot of rappers on the show as well. A lot of them do learn that skill. And that's the gentleman we were talking to last week. He's like, well, a new venture for me that I recently got into was video production. He said, I never thought I was going to do it. He says, but I got sick of working with people. He said, so I just decided I was going to do it myself. He says, no, I fell in love with it. He says, and I have full control of my videos. I can make as I please. I'm like, yeah, man, if you can do it, being able to have the artistic skill to do the things that you're going to need in your musical career, take away the need for someone else, and it takes away that burden. So it makes you more powerful, and that's great when you have that. Now, are you the one that made the FUBAR logo then?
Actually, that was Dave. Dave did that. So he like picked out the font, and we kind of have gone through like a little bit of a transformation with the logo, and I don't know if it's going to change. I can't really say one way or the other how it will change, but it's been the same font essentially. Before it had like the kind of Rasta colors around the outside to give you like that whole punk reggae like vibe, and now it's got the like flag in it and everything. I don't know. So maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll go a different direction. Maybe it'll be a whole new font. Who knows?
Yeah, they're keeping us guessing. We're on the
We're keeping ourselves guessing, I guess.
Keeping yourselves guessing, keeping the fans guessing. No one knows at this time. That's all right. That's all right. So you guys have recently, obviously, I read in the bio, done some pretty big festivals. Obviously the Biker Rally, and some of the other great ones that we named. You played the last stop for Pittsburgh for the Vans Warped Tour. How was that?
Man, that was cool. It was like kind of surreal. I went there in like 2004 and 5, like back when I got to see like mass numbers of my favorite bands all performing in like the same spot. And to play it is cool, but like to play the last one ever in Pittsburgh was like kind of epic. And I don't know if anybody knows our band, they kind of know a little bit about like who we are, and they put us on at 4:20, so that kind of like got us all going a little bit. So our set time was 4:20 at Vans Warped Tour. You know, we're all like,
last time ever. Yeah, you're pumped.
Yeah,
You're like, this is our moment.
like, it's the stars are aligning, man. And you know, we got to take the Habitat horn section with us, and it was really cool. It was a blast. It was a super
awesome.
hot day. Like,
I bet it usually always was.
It was like 100 degrees, and you know, we were all ready to like drink beer and like have a good time, and we were like, let's just hang out in the shade and drink as much water as possible before we play, you know.
Absolutely, because man, I'll tell you what, those hot shows will get you. They'll sneak up on you, and you don't even realize it. You're like halfway through your set, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna pass out.
Oh yeah.
You're like, what? I judged this wrong, especially like. And I don't really do much of that anymore. I might have a couple of drinks before I play some clubs and stuff that I play at, but usually I keep it very tame. But I used to drink pretty heavily before playing, and it'd be like halfway through a set, especially on like outside festivals. Sun would be baking, and you're halfway through your set, and it just hits you, and you're like, I made a massive mistake right now.
Yep.
You're just trying to hold out the rest of the set, and you're like, I can make it. But you know what? I quit doing that a long time ago because I'm like, they're not getting their money's worth from me if I'm not giving it 100.
Oh, for sure. You know, we still have a good time, but we're like, we're always, you know, just trying to like play our best these days. And I mean, I'm not going to say I don't drink at a show, but I definitely am not drinking like 5 shots.
No, exactly. No,
like
and I still
having
drink
a couple
too.
of beers.
You just got to even it out. You know, I have a couple of drinks as I play or right before I play. But yeah, it used to be like, oh, anybody want to buy me shots? Let's take 4 shots right before I walk on stage. And like, that's a smart idea. That's crazy stuff. I'm glad I don't do that anymore. But why don't you tell us a little bit about the biker rally as well? How'd you get on that?
I don't know. We kind of just like, we've been like chasing people down, right? Trying to like get on every possible show that we can. So we just sent some emails out and we got on there, and we have actually played that three years in a row, which was really cool. The first year we opened on the main stage on the opening day, which is like Thursday, and it was a blast. Like really cool stage, really big, a lot of fun. And then the following year, they actually ended up having us like headline a side stage. Like, so we played like, you know, Saturday night at like, you know, 10 to midnight. And it was just a crazy like biker party under there, and they seemed to dig us. And then this year, again, we opened up at Thunder in the Valley, and we get to play, you know, we play like a 2-hour set, and we pull out all the songs, and we brought out a cover we hadn't done before. It was Goldfinger Superman from the Tony Hawk, you know, first level there in the warehouse.
Yeah, absolutely. That was good times. I spent many an hour playing that game.
Yes,
and mastering that first level. Yeah,
over and over and over.
Yeah, because it was before I could afford it. I was just a kid, so I remember the demo came out, and I just put hours in on that demo.
Yep.
Good time period.
Same here. My buddy Ian, who was sitting in the room with me, me and him played that for like days and days and days because we couldn't afford the full game either, so we were just playing that demo.
It was the same thing for the BMX game.
Dave Mira?
Dave Mira, yeah.
Yep.
I put some massive hours in on the first level or two of that demo.
That's so funny.
It's good to see that there's some fellow gamers out there. I don't know if you guys are still gamers of any sort, but I mean, I definitely know I was when I was younger. I still am a little bit to an extent, but not to the degree of most.
Yeah, same. We were like we were real into it when we were kids. How old are you? Because we got to be similar in age then.
31.
I'm 30.
Okay, so yeah, that makes
31.
sense. Yeah, right around that time period. I mean, it was a good time when PlayStation came out and some of the games, like, because you used to have demos back then. I mean, it's a different time period. Kids don't understand it. PlayStation came out, and, you know, Super Nintendo and all that didn't have a demo. Sega didn't have a demo. You just bought a game. And when PlayStation came out, these graphics were amazing. And then all of a sudden, you know, here's these demos you can play of Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot. And
yep.
All this, and you're like, well, this is crazy. You're like, I really like this. And Mom, I want them all.
Yeah.
What kind of yard work do I need to do right now to get these games? And it was like I was scabbing out on those, and Resident Evil. That was my game there. I played a massive amount of Resident Evil.
No doubt.
You still play it all anymore?
I don't really play too much anymore. My kids occupy the Xbox all the time, so they're always Fortniting it up. Okay. So I never get to go back and play Call of Duty these days.
Yeah, and that's funny because I don't really play much, but when I do play Call of Duty. And I tried the Fortnite thing out because I know like everybody in the world was talking about it, so I downloaded it. I played it like 4 times, and then I deleted it back off my PlayStation. I said, hell with this game. That is absolutely ridiculous. Those kids are like 7 years old, dominating me. I can't even get anywhere in that game. They're building up walls around themselves, and obviously you've seen it. And it's like how quickly they build. Boom, 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 boom. They build this house, and you're trying to shoot them. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this game. I'm not playing this anymore.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh man, games have come too far, and it's like I got 6-year-olds talking shit on me and beating me in a game. I just need to hang it up.
No doubt. That's like all my kids talk about is Fortnite. I'm really not sure, if they know about any other games at this point.
They're like, wait a second, there's another game besides this game?
Not seriously. They're like crazy gamers. They play like every game, but they play a lot of Fortnite.
That seems like that's what kids do. That's for sure. Like I said, I just couldn't get into it, but I just don't have the time to put into it, though. I mean, if I had time to put into it, maybe.
I think that's it, too. You have to play it constantly, and that's how they hook you in. Like, that's the whole game.
It is. Know? It's just like dedicate your life, sign the line.
Exactly, to be any good.
You do, and they try to reel you in, man. They try to get you in and get you locked in. That's all devices at this point, whether it be PlayStation, whether it be your phone. Everything's trying to look at the black box. That's all they want you to do. Just look at the black box.
Don't you take your eyes off of it.
Don't you take your eyes off that black box. Well, absolutely. Well, why don't we jump into our first song here? We can play, why don't we jump into the title track off the album itself and play The Hunt for Inspiration?
Sounds good, man.
All right. Well, guys, here it is. You are listening to FUBAR, The Hunt for Inspiration, and this is Uncovering the Underground. We'll be right back after this song.
Don't wanna live through observation. Just wanna be a casualty of civilization.
wanna be a casualty of civilization. I'm on the hunt for inspiration, situations in quotation. Don't wanna live through observation. Just wanna be a casualty of civilization. I know who you are, baby. I know who you are, baby. And I know what they call you, girl.
And we're back on Uncovering the Underground radio podcast show. I'm your host, Skippy Ickham of Brutal Business Entertainment, and that was The Hunt for Inspiration by FUBAR. That is a local Pittsburgh rock and punk reggae ska band here that is absolutely kicking ass right now. Became a big fan pretty quick, and I'm glad that I did. Glad I could get them on the show. Hopefully you guys like them. If you are digging their music, leave us a comment on the Instant Messenger through Spreaker.com or Spreaker Podcast app. Let us know what you think. Feel free to ask questions and join us in our interview. So that was a great song, man. I really enjoyed that off the album, prior to us having you on the show. But great song, I think, to start out and give the crowd as their first listen to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like that song too. It's probably pretty sure it's the oldest one. No, maybe not. I was gonna say I thought it was the oldest one since our last record, but I think that might be observation. Come to think of it.
Okay. Now, how long ago do you write? How long ago you think it was that you wrote The Hunt for Inspiration?
That was, we really started writing that record probably like 4 years before it was, 3 years before it was recorded, I guess. So I'm saying like 2014. We like released our other record and we'd been recording that one for like a year. And then we had already written a few of these songs and a couple that didn't make the record. And I don't know, we had all those lineup changes and everything. So by the time we got around to like recording all these songs, we'd been playing them for like 3 years, 4 years, like live. This is all those songs that Matt and Jordan, our bass player and drummer, learned to play with the band. Is like a few songs off our old record and then this whole record that we were writing at the time when they joined. So we've been playing those songs for a long time.
Yeah, so they were old to you but new to the people whenever they came out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, some people, I guess.
So,
the people that hadn't been
not
to
your
our shows.
not your avid religious fans, but the ones who maybe seen you here and there. They'd hear it and be like, "Oh, this is some new material." Meanwhile, you're like, "No, we've been playing that for 3 years."
Yeah, exactly. That's what people were thinking. Exactly. People probably thought whenever we released that record, like that it was all new. And meanwhile, we had been playing them for quite a while. But this is our first record that we put on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff got actually distributed. So
it's a good feeling whenever you do that step and get it out there, get it distributed on all the platforms. It's like, all right, now I'm official. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because we live in a new age where if you don't do that, you're sorely missing out. I know people that are like, I'm not a part of any of that. I just do physicals, and I'm like, good luck to you, man.
Yeah, you're not getting nearly as much, out to where you need to be with just the physical copies anymore. They're almost, actually, CDs are like almost just like merch anymore. It's just like, yeah, sign it and like put it on your wall, because if you have a newer car, I mean, I don't have a brand new car, but like if you get a brand new car, they don't even have CD players in them, I don't think.
No, they don't. That's funny. It's funny you mention that, because we actually talked about that.
Now.
Yeah, we talked about that a few episodes back with a guest that we had on the show, and I don't remember which one it was at this point, but I said about the fact that CDs are becoming obsolete. In fact, I got a newer car, and I went in one day after, like it was like 3 days after buying it, and went and grabbed my CD book. I have a massive CD collection, took it out to my car, sat and looked through that bitch for like 15 minutes, found the perfect CD for that day's mood, and then I went to put it in, and there was no slot, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I was searching everywhere, like I'm feeling all the crevices of the dashboard, and I'm like, where's the button? Where is it? Is it hiding? And I sat back, and I'm like, I don't think this thing has a CD player. And I went in and told my wife, and she's like, no, you're kidding me. And I went back out and looked a second time. No CD player. And that's when I started to realize, oh, wow, they're fading out CDs for good. Like, that's a major industry move right there to start fading it out.
Is yours a 2019?
It's a 2018.
Okay, so mine's a 2017. Mine has a CD player, and I haven't used it once since I bought the car.
Okay. So you got one, haven't used it. I want one and don't have it. Okay, that's how it goes.
I haven't. I mean, you do get a little bit better sound quality from a CD than you do over Bluetooth or when you plug your phone cord in. You just do. So I do want to like pop a CD in at some point, but I just haven't. I just like stream on Spotify and like, hook my phone up and go from there.
Well,
I have to find some CDs.
Stare into the box, man. Like I said, that's everything's got us into that. Like, get away from the CDs, get away from this and that. Just everything you need's inside this box. But no, for real though, the streaming is the way to go because it's just so much more convenient. I want another CD. Well, then you either have to be at like a stop, you have to be pulled in somewhere to get the booklet out, dig through it, find it, put it in, and switch it out, rather than me just pull up real quick, type in the name of a band, hit play, and boom, there it's done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a game changer, massive game changer.
It really was, really is.
It's sad because, I mean, it really crippled the industry for a little while, and then it completely constructed it at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to recover. Like, it's just going in a different direction. Like, I think everyone has to embrace streaming now, as much as like everybody hated it and like, so many people were against it and stuff. That's where it is. That's where it's going. Even downloads are going to like fall off. It's just going to be all streaming,
It is. And I mean, here's the thing. We as people are weak. We are easily swayed. So they can put something out and you argue it. You try to stand strong for a little while, but eventually 90% of the people are going to give in. Point blank, the automated lanes at stores like Walmart and Giant Eagle and places like that. Okay,
like
so
do this work.
Yeah, everybody when it came out was like, we're not going to use those because those are putting Americans out of work.
Yeah.
And we're going to only go through the line. And they stood strong for 4 months. And then it was like, well, shit, there's like 17 people in line. I want to go figure this thing out. And then you're over there, beep, beep, you're doing your thing, and then you check out, and you're way ahead of everybody else. And then all of a sudden, you're like, well, that was nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to start to do that. And then you're slowly doing it. And then you're like, okay, I'm never going to go back to another human being again. That's how the music thing went, is a lot of people didn't want to embrace the fact that streaming came out, and it sucked, and it really fucked a lot of things up.
That's a good analogy.
But at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, it's the only way to go, because why would I dig through a booklet of 350 CDs, then you put it in, and you know what happens? You're really pumped to hear that CD, you press play, 35 seconds into song 1, it starts skipping because somehow it got a scratch on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no point in really having CDs.
Or you're like, wait, is that song on this record or this record? The only way to fucking find out is to put it in and skip through it.
Skip through it.
I mean, I guess you can Google it now, but like, at least on Spotify, you can just literally type it in and then play it.
Now, here's the weird thing. I'm not a customer of, and it's no hate against them, but I'm not a customer or listener of Spotify. I've never actually used it, but I have Amazon Unlimited, and it's pretty much the same thing. So it's like I can listen to anything on at any point in time. I'm on Spotify. I have like 5 of my personal albums on there that I've written. And
I think FUBAR's on there. Make sure you add our record on there, man. On Amazon.
Is it on Amazon? I seriously will if it is. That'd be awesome.
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have to look it up tomorrow on my way to work.
That's shameless, man. I'm asking the guy to add our record on Amazon.
Well, I already have it on my computer, so I'd love to have it on my phone, and honestly make it easier because I've only been able to listen to it while I'm at home, and I would actually prefer to listen to it on my ride to the work because I have an hour drive to and from work every day, so I got a lot of time to listen to music every day.
I pretty much do, too. So I actually have been listening to a podcast, so I'm going to give like a shameless plug for this dude, too. My band's opening for this band Ballyhoo. They're awesome. And their lead singer, Howie Spangler, has a podcast called Tales from the Green Room. And that's where I've been listening to a lot about all this streaming stuff and everything. And hold on, where was I going with that?
It came and it went.
And so, yeah, we're opening for them, and he has the podcast. And I've been listening to the podcast a lot, and he discusses a lot of that streaming stuff and how it's like that's pretty much where it's going. And you're talking about, getting pre-saves and there's just a lot of like really cool stuff you can do. And I stream all that off of Spotify.
Okay. But it's a great company to work with. Like I said, I give them a lot of love because they air this radio show through Spotify. They air my other radio show that I do, Celestial Oddities, which is nothing. It's all about aliens, ghosts, paranormal activity, shadow people. It's a complete show about the unknown and the crazy experiences that people have encountered out there. And they put that one out through Spotify, and then all my personal music has been put through Spotify. So they've always done good. I've always been able to have been easy to work with and put my stuff up. I never had any issues. So much love to them. I just never have personally used their services because Amazon reeled me in first.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. They all pretty much do the same thing these days. You can get, and I think where I was going with all that was that instead of like listening to a CD or listening to like an MP3 that you've downloaded, whenever you're doing the streaming, it's actually like, the artist is getting paid, even if it's not much. They're still getting paid for every time you listen to it. Whereas if you listen to it on a CD, they're not getting anything out, they're not benefiting from you listening to that CD other than the fact that you already bought it. But if you listen to that CD and you have it, or you have the CD, you've bought it, you've already paid for it. That's cool. But like if you continue streaming, there's still like, you're still supporting the artist continuously. I guess that's what I was trying to get at, like with talking about Howie and everything, and the fact that we're opening for Ballyhoo on October 16th at the Craft House. That's what I was trying to lead into. All
right, there you go. You got to the end of the journey, though. The Craft House is a great place. If anybody out there in the Pittsburgh area or surrounding areas is around, you said it. What day was it?
October 16th at the Craft House.
October 16th at the Craft House.
It'll be
a good time.
Ballyhoo, Article Sound System, Fayuca, the Cinematics, and FUBAR. So it's like a huge lineup. Okay. We got a few shows before then and everything, but that's just like a massive one because we're huge Ballyhoo fans. At least, half the band was like, we go to like pretty much all their shows when they're in town. So it's just like pretty cool. It's always cool to like open up for a band that you're, a huge fan of.
Oh, absolutely. You get to meet them a lot of times and get to find out who they are as people, and then becoming friends. It's been, there's been many a time that I've opened up for some, big headlining acts and end up getting to meet them, end up becoming friends with some of them and finding out that they're really cool people, completely different people than you think they were. Especially like in my scene, because there's a little bit of an image to it, you know what I mean? Because you got the hardcore underground hip hop and horrorcore and this and that. So you have the people that are involved in that you're like, I don't know what to think of this cat until I meet him. And then you meet him and he's completely opposite of what you'd think. And you're like, all right. Like, it's a good time. But that's just always fun playing with people you look up to, people that you listen to. And that should be a great show. So check it out if you are in the area. And where can they find tickets for that? Is it just pay at the door, or are they doing pre-sales?
We're doing pre-sales, so like hit us up, man. We'll if somebody wants to PayPal us money for a ticket, we'll mail it to you. Or if you want to Venmo us, or if you want me to like meet you at Sheetz parking lot, I'll do it. I don't care. You want to send a carrier pigeon with $15? I'll send you a ticket.
You know what? I remember selling a lot of tickets back in the day, and I would do the same thing, meet people everywhere. I'd be like, where can you meet? I'd be like in a random gas station parking lot, running over and handing tickets out, looking like I'm doing a drug deal.
Exactly, man.
Jumping back in my car, hoping I don't get pulled over by the police. They're like, what do you got, son?
I got these tickets, man.
I got these tickets, officer. I got these tickets.
You want to go to a show, officer?
Oh, man. I used to have to hustle hard because there's a lot of places, like when I first got out in the scene, I was big in the metal scene for a long time, but when I busted out in the rap scene, it was a whole different game. I had to start back at the beginning of everything. So it was like I used to be known as a guitar player, but now I ain't shit. So I had to switch over and start building up. And a lot of the shows that they gave you, the amount of tickets that you were required to sell. 'Cause some shows say, here's tickets you can sell, make your money back. You can sell the required for the venue. Some, you just have to sell them. There was no return back to them. And I remember first couple shows coming out, they're like, here, sell these 100 tickets at $20 a pop, and you get like $40.
Yeah, that's such a great deal.
And I'm like, wow, I sell $2,000 worth of tickets, and I get $40. Like, wow, that's.
They're like, wow, yeah, that's some free marketing. I'll tell you what, that's cheap as shit.
That was, and you know what? They were getting people that were doing it. And there's a couple companies, I won't mention their names, but there's a lot of people out there that are listening. I know right now that are my fans that are from the Pittsburgh rap scene, and there's a companies that book here. They're not even from here. and they book a couple
I've
shows
worked
a
for
year.
one of those companies before.
Okay. Yeah, and they fucking get you, man. They dig you out on those tickets. They're like, and it goes by who sells the most. So you're busting your ass to sell these tickets.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this more during the break, so I can mention the name too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I remember it would be like that, because then you're like, it depends on what time you play to by how many tickets you sell. So
Exactly,
you'd bust your ass and sell those goddamn 100 tickets. And then they'd still be like, well, such and such. And then it'd be a person you never heard of that I think they brought with them. And they're like, they sold, 200 tickets. And you're like, so I'm going to open. And they're like, yeah. And you're like, okay. You just got shafted. I remember it being pretty grimy, man. There was a lot of really crazy stuff that was happening with a couple of these. There was 2 individual companies, so we'll talk about those at the break. But, yeah, kids, get out there and play your music. Understand that you will get taken advantage of a little bit if you're trying to get into the scene. But don't let people completely take advantage of you. There's a defining line there, but you got to put in your work to get where you need to be playing these bigger shows. Everybody thinks it comes easy. I don't know how many times people are like, how do I get on a show like that?
Gosh.
I'm like, put in years, man. Years.
We played so many shows in those 8 years, and the amount of shows that we've gotten paid for was like slim. Obviously it's a little better nowadays, but it's a lot better nowadays. But it's still we're still scraping, barely. But it's crazy.
It's never easy, man. That's for sure.
Absolutely. It's crazy how often you play. Even if you're playing a couple of hours and you don't get paid anything, but especially when you're hustling tickets for those shows like that, and that's different. That makes it really tough.
Well, it is tough for bands like yours, because in the jam band scene, which I'd classify you guys in the jam band type scene, you're playing longer sets. So a metal band might come out and play a 35, 45-minute set, sometimes an hour. But that's really about it in any type of metal show that you see. And unless it's like Metallica or someone, but I'm saying like in a local scene, usually 45 minutes is the most you see a metal band play. Rap acts usually play about a half an hour, and that's most. And, you got you guys coming out and playing 2 hours. And to play 2 hours of solid music and not get paid in some cases, that is a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of
I think it goes I think it definitely goes people don't realize what all goes into that, practicing to learning 2 hours. And I don't know if we necessarily classify in the jam band scene, because we don't straight just jam out. All our songs are structured and everything. I appreciate that, because I actually dig a lot of these local jam bands. There's a ton of them out at Garefest, and they were incredible.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 hours is a lot for us too, even as because we've always played punk rock, and our music's a little slower. It's definitely not metal heavy, but we definitely rock out, you know what I mean? So it's 2 hours is crushing.
2 hours
just
is crushing. That's a long time.
Just like it would be for a metal band, We prefer to do an hour. It's much better. We feel like we can put on a really awesome 100% performance in an hour or under,
And you have to figure out that time slot, because in my rap stuff, for a long time, I was getting short sets because that's all they give a lot of rappers. And then I built up my respect and became pretty big in it. And so then I started playing a lot longer sets. Then I'd play too long. I was playing, an hour and 15 minutes. And what I started realizing in the rap side of things, songs go by pretty quick. They're not as long. So in that time, you're just doing a massive amount of songs, and people usually lose interest after a little while. So you have to, where do I keep them hooked and end it just right? And for me, I found out that's roughly about a 35-minute set. 35-minute sets, there's usually no breaks in between songs. I have it, my DJ or whoever I'm working with run it straight song to song.
I like that too. You can play all bangers, man.
It's all bangers. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Thank you. I'll catch you next time. And you're off the stage. No filler. I'll kill her. You know what I mean? And that's the way I had to do it, because I was playing too long, and it was cool to me because I'm a show hog. So it's I love to play live. So I'm throwing these shows where I'm headlining and I'm getting as much time as I want. And I'm like, okay, I'll play an hour and 15 minutes. But then it was the last 35 minutes, no one gave a shit. Everybody was just standing around having drinks, and I'm like, I'm really rapping to myself right now.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
people
why
do
do
have
that
a
to
short
myself?
attention span, man. That's why we're going to do an EP, man. We feel like we buried some really good songs on that last record, and we could have split that into 2 EPs. And I mean, there's a lot of things we did wrong, knowing what we know now and like learning a lot of new industry stuff and Spotify playlists and all that fun stuff. But like really like people I don't know if people have the attention span for 11, 10 plus song albums. It's just like do 5, 6, maybe less.
That's the way
singles.
it's going. And that's actually a subject in itself. And I've recently taken that avenue because I've always released full-length albums. And this recent project that I'm working on was supposed to be a full-length album. And I had 5 tracks done for it. And I'm thinking about writing 2 more and calling it a day. And I've never felt like that. But I'm like, why am I writing full-length albums? Because whether I drop 7 new songs or 12 new songs, it'll keep their attention heavy for the first several months, and then it'll wane. They'll still listen to it a little bit, but they're going to want the next project. I could just do that off of 7 songs rather than 12, and then I can release singles in between. And the
You can
singles
do that
is a
with
whole
half
nother,
that.
and you can, and the singles is a whole nother topic because it honestly anymore. You can drop a single, promote it heavy before you drop it, promote it heavy after you drop it, get a good 2.5 months off of one track, pushing that track, and then drop another one and do that and then another one. And it takes away the concept of having to have an album or a structured project. You can just write a song, drop it, or have a stockpile of 6 or 7 songs, and you have shit to release for the next half a year or more, and while you're doing that, you're writing 6, 7, 8 more. And it really starts to change the way that the music is, as we already kind of talked about.
Yep.
The digital thing kind of changed in so many levels, how that it's digital mixed with social media. The two of them together is what changed the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's where it's going, is like that short EPs and singles. Like people are just going to be doing that. I mean, because you'll never lose the art of an album. Like if you write an EP and all the songs are cohesive, like they flow or whatever, and that'll always still be a thing. But like, it's just like, I really think that our song Junk, it's like number 10, I think, on the record. I think it got buried. I think like it's been, when I look at the plays across the different platforms, and like Junk and Happy Pill, I feel are both like really awesome, like pretty cool songs, right? I mean, they're both like, one is like really heavy. They're both pretty heavy in meaning, and one's like really fun, and one's really like slamming and heavy, and they're buried. They're like the lowest listened to songs because they're the last 2. People have lost interest before they get there, I feel. You know what I mean? Not that it's like, or like ran out of time or whatever, but.
Well, you know what and I figured this out the other day. I guess it was more than the other day. It was probably like 2 months ago. But recently, the reason that happens, and the reason that's happened to me, is I was listening to Amazon, as we talked about earlier, one of our streaming platforms that we use, and I normally don't have shuffle on. I pop on an album and just start playing the album.
Sure.
Well, you always have such a certain amount of time till you get to work or till you get to the store or to what you're doing. So if you start the album over a lot of times, you're hearing a lot of the same songs. You're jumping between other albums, but you're only ever getting the first 6 or 7 songs of the album. So if you do a 12-song album and people are doing that, and most people are using streaming devices, most people are just hitting play, it's always starting over again from the popular beginning songs.
Yeah.
And what you don't realize is the end songs can be just as popular.
Unless they consciously like remember to like resume it or like whatever, like, continue listening. Yeah, you're right. I could hear that.
Yeah, resume it or hit
totally
the
makes
shuffle
sense.
button. Because I actually had the
shuffle.
shuffle button on by mistake, and a song came on from this one album I liked, and I'm like, what in the hell song is this? And I looked, and it was on the one album I had, and I'm like, well, how have I never heard this song? And I'm thinking, I've listened to that album probably like 25 times. I'd never heard that song because I never made it to the very end of the album. And that's when I realized, I'm like, wow, I never thought of it like that, because anytime I would have bought a CD, you would sit down and listen to the entire CD.
Yeah.
But digital kind of changed that, because as I started listening to it, it was always from the beginning, and maybe shuffle, you'll hear songs here and there. You have so many options at your fingertips that it lost the appeal. I remember being a kid, and I'm sure you do too, going to the CD store and having money to buy a CD or 2 or 3 CDs, and you were like pumped, and you said, what do I buy?
Yeah.
What CD? And you actually had to file through ABC, alphabetical order, to find CDs that were cool.
I'd get like 10 and have to reduce it down from there,
Exactly. And I used to buy them from album covers. I told people that before and they thought I was crazy. I'd go in and buy one or two CDs. Because that was actually what I saved all my money for. I would go mow lawns and everything, and then I would go to the CD store and buy. I remember one time I went and bought like 25 CDs at one time, and everybody was looking at me. I was like 12. And I went home and listened to all of them. And it was a bunch of heavy metal and death metal shit that I loved back then. And I would pick a lot of albums by just the look of the album, just strictly off of the artwork. I'd be like, I like the flow of this artwork. I want to check these guys out. And sometimes it would work out really good. Sometimes it would be a horrible, horrible mistake. And I did it with all kinds of different types of music. But that appeal of going to the music store is gone because you had that, oh my God, I'm going to get this new project. Now kids just pump in a name, boom. I heard it on the radio earlier, boom, it's already on my playlist. I have it on my iPod. And it's like, wow, you used to hear something and be like, well, I got to save up $10 or $15, I think is the time what CDs were back then. And you had to go to the store with $15 and buy this album. You had like a whole different respect for the music.
Oh yeah, like no doubt.
CDs were like $15, weren't they? I think they went down after a while. I was gonna say they used to be like $15 or $16, and then they went down to 10, and that was like industry standard after that.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting. Like On Cue and Sam Goody. I remember On Cue. On Cue was a fun
CD
store.
Warehouse.
CD Warehouse, absolutely. Oh man, good times. Just like Blockbuster and everything else, all those places are gone because of digital and internet, man. That's insane. We live in a completely different time. It's crazy how times flip-flop generation to generation or every couple generations where it like completely recycles itself into something new.
Oh yeah. It's like really like cyclical. Same with like music industry, everything. Like, I mean, the actual music and like everything. It's crazy.
It really is. Now, what you told us about the one show you got coming up? Obviously, it's pretty big to you guys at the Craft House. Do you have any other big events coming up that people should know about?
Well, strangely enough, I skipped like the first one. The most recent one, or the closest one to us coming up. Next one is September 5th at the Craft House, also with 40 Ounces to Freedom, the Sublime tribute band.
Oh yeah.
And then another cool reggae band from Pittsburgh called Keystone Vibe. And we're all three playing at the Craft House. It's like a Thursday night, and we're selling tickets to that one too. Same deal, PayPal, Venmo, carrier pigeon. I accept them all.
You heard them here, folks. Pick up tickets, get there, send your courier pigeons, and make sure you pick up a ticket. Nothing better than going to a bar on a Thursday night, having a drink or two, listening to a good band. You can still get home and to bed at a decent hour, get some sleep for work, and you supported a good local band. And that's what people should be doing. That's what people once did. You don't see it as much anymore, but everybody's always like, oh, it's a Tuesday night. Well, how old are you?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I get tired myself.
Let's do this.
So many times if a friend's band been coming through or someone that I really like is touring, and it's like a Tuesday, Wednesday night, and I'm like, I'm not going to get home to bed till like 2 in the morning. I'm like, I'm going to be so tired. But you know what? I'm like, it's for the music, and I go do it, and the next day I'm at work, and I push through it, and that's with the family and with the kid and everything. Like, I'm just going to do it.
I'm pretty sure this show too, like whenever they do these weeknight shows out there, I think they wrap up at like 11. So like,
and a lot of places have been. So that's what's nice is they're done by like 11. You can get home by like 12, and you're in bed by latest 1 o'clock, and you still get a pretty good night's sleep depending upon what time you get up for work.
Yep.
That's not too bad. That's like the one the other night I mentioned to you during the one break at the Roxanne Theater. They finished up like right around 11 too. So we got back home within an hour. So it was like 12:30. We were home, and then we had work the next morning, but that was all right.
That's not that bad. I gotta go check that place out for a show.
Oh man, the sound system, like I said, shout out to whoever bought and constructed the sound system of the Roxanne Theater in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania. Went there to see John Butler a few weeks back, and I literally said it so many times, and my wife was like, Garrett, shut the fuck up. She's like, I don't want to hear about the sound system anymore. Because I said it probably 14, 15 times throughout the show. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that sound system's good. And
you can recognize that shit though, you play music,
It was phenomenal because, I mean, every single note the band played, whether it was bass, whether it was guitar, whether it was the drums, the multiple singers and backup singers that they had, I heard everyone so crystal clear and all in unison that I'm like, wow, this is the clearest and most diverse sound system I've ever heard in Pittsburgh. I've heard sound systems that good before, but even that in itself, you don't hear too good. We were sitting beside a gentleman, and me and my wife were talking. He overheard us, and he says, "Yeah, my buddy actually is the one who got this place." He said that they put 1.5 million apparently into it.
Wow. Apparently, a lot of that into the sound system.
And I was saying it must have been a lot of it into the sound system, and I'm like, that's phenomenal, and I think they're going to do very well. They've been getting a lot of really good bands there, and the sound is uncompromisable. I mean, you give anybody that wants to hear a good sound is going to go there, and I think in the next couple of years, if they can keep up doing what they're doing, they're going to be one of the number one venues in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, definitely, man. I could already see they're bringing in some like huge acts like all the time. So
they had a flyer up the other day for Candlebox, and I'm like, wow, Candlebox still plays.
They're still around.
It blew my mind. I seen it, and I'm like, well, Candlebox is coming here. I'm like, that was a major throwback for me. I'm like, okay, random.
It's so weird.
Probably be a good show though.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we jump into one of the other songs here? We got, I think, coming up next is "Everybody." Is that one a good one for you?
Yeah, man. I think you guys will dig the horns on this one.
Yeah, check out the horn section, guys. This is some of the newer addition to FUBAR, so make sure if you haven't heard it, you check it out now. Hit the share button and share it around, and we'll be right back after this song. This is "Everybody." And we are back on Uncovering the Underground Radio podcast show. That was Everybody, a single by FUBAR here in Pittsburgh, PA. And as we've been talking for the last hour, we've been speaking with Jake Hirsch, who is rhythm guitar and vocals for the band. And we just was able to bring on one of the other members of the band. And with us right now, we do got Dave Cochran. He is also lead guitars, and also vocals for the band. So welcome, Dave, to the show. I'm glad you could join us.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, Jake plays leads too.
Occasionally.
Also, he's trying to be modest and telling me earlier he doesn't play much but rhythm.
Yeah, I'm rhythm guitar, man.
I play rhythm leads, you know.
I feel you.
That's
leading rhythms.
Yeah, something like that, you know. They're intertwined.
But no, it's great to have the two of you on the show. Great to hear a little bit of the different sides of your guys' music. I know that the songs throughout the album do have a different tone, different feel to different tracks on there. You're not just a one-trick pony as a band, which I like. It's not one solid, continuous song. It's every song has its own kind of journey, and feel to it. And it makes you guys stand out, makes you distinct, and that's why I think you guys definitely have a bright future coming up.
Oh, man, thank you. That's cool. Yeah, we try to... Yeah, we do. That's exactly what we try to do. Just make it all kind of different in its own right, but still kind of jive on the same CD. So, yeah, that's cool you to say that. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it was Jake who kind of brought me on to you guys. I'm not even sure how it all came about. I was putting up a posting publicly about looking for some good different bands and artists that wanted to be on my radio show that I run. And I believe he sent me an email and reached out to me, and I hadn't heard of you guys at that point. I might have heard the name once or twice, I'm not sure, but I hadn't listened to you guys. And I clicked on the link, checked it out, and right away I'm like, oh shit, I like this. I'm like, this is a good band, and I started listening to you more and more, and I've actually really fallen in love with your guys' album. I definitely need to come and see you guys soon. I haven't been able to do it yet, but it will happen sometime here shortly, and just keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see what you guys continue to make.
Yeah,
hey, come out to the Craft House. I'll hook you up with a ticket.
Yeah, I might have to come on. Let me look at my plan. What you said the next one was September
5th.
Yeah.
So it won't be that one, but I might be able to do the one after that because September 5th I am on vacation.
Okay.
I remember you saying that earlier, and I was thinking that myself.
I'm actually coming back from vacation that day.
Okay, you're diehard. You're coming back and going straight to the show. That's what's up.
Yep.
Now, normally I wouldn't ask, but I feel compelled to. Anywhere special for vacation?
Ocean City.
Ocean City, okay. Me and my wife are going down to Tennessee for the first time coming up. So
that's cool.
We're pretty excited about that, so it should be a good time. We try to travel somewhere different every couple of years, and that's our journey this time around.
That's cool, man.
Now, so we know about some of the shows you guys got coming up. We've heard about some of the shows that you guys have recently played, kind of how the band came together. What other future plans do you guys have right now for yourselves? Obviously, continuing to write some of the new music, and obviously continue to play a lot of live events out. But why don't we kick this one over you, Dave, and ask you what kind of plans you guys got coming up for yourselves? Anything big?
Oh man, we try to keep it nearsighted, But I think the only thing that we're really trying to do is finish the songs that we're writing and record them. That's like our two main priorities right now.
No, it's understandable though. You want to get from A to B and get it done.
Yeah. But, I mean, it seems like a short-term goal, but it really ends up being kind of a long-term goal. So
it's not going to take that long this time.
Yeah.
I keep saying that.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, well, hopefully that happens soon. But I think other than that, just try to get out of the state, try to venture out a little bit more.
I think you guys could do very well doing that, honestly. Your sound, I think, could resonate at a lot of other places and could jive with a lot of different lineups out there. So I think if you guys start to really reach out to a lot of promoters in other cities, you're going to start getting booked. I think you could have some good success with that. So, and two, I do connect with a lot of different promoters in a lot of different towns and areas of all different kinds of music. So if you're ever looking to be at a specific state around us, I'd always be willing to see if I can hook you up with anybody that I know personally, and I might not, but something I always offer out there because I do know a lot of different promoters in the touring side of things.
Hey, man, we appreciate any connection we can get. we're just trying to like go
Absolutely.
out. We know we won't be able to like do like full big long tours or anything because we all got jobs. You know, we got to hold down and pay rent and everything, and I'm not sure that we'll be able to do that right off the bat. So I got kids, you know, so we're trying to like go and kind of do some weekenders, like, you know, go to one city on one weekend, you know, next city next weekend.
Mini
so
tours
we can all
are key.
work in between.
Yeah, mini tours are key. You know, you do what you do is you try to see if you can use like either a personal day or a vacation day once or twice a year where you take off like a Friday and a Monday. So then your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So what you do is as soon as you get done with work on Thursday, you go straight to the place that you're going to. And you play that night, travel Friday morning, play Friday, travel Saturday morning, play Saturday, do the same thing Sunday, Monday morning you're coming back, you get that night to rest, Tuesday you're back to work. And me and my crew have done that a lot of times, and you can hit several different places. So you might do like in Akron, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, back to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? And it's you pound them out in like a 4 or 5 day span, so that way you don't have to do tours, but you're really getting a lot of reach, and you only do it like twice a year. Because that's the more realistic.
We got to get a van.
Yeah, that's the more realistic goal for someone like us who has a family, who has a career. You can't just go on a tour. There's a point where if you're young enough and you get signed young enough, okay, good. But once you actually start getting that life role, it's a far step to say I'm going to quit my job and I'm just going to go on tour on a whim right now. You know what I mean? It's 95% of the time it's not going to work out for you.
Yep.
So those mini tours kind of help get you that reach, get you that platform built up, and then you can start to work to maybe get there.
Yeah, I honestly don't think we get enough credit for not falling asleep when we play. It's hard to do. It's a different dynamic nowadays. You know, it's not as lucrative as it was if it ever was in the past. You know, it's still from the 70s. It's been $100 a man, and there's no change till today. It's actually probably
ask us the last time we got $800 to play a show.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, every scene's different, and that's the thing is what people don't realize. It's not even just industry standard across the board. I mean, every scene treats its artists differently. Like, I can guarantee you the hip-hop scene is night and day different from the rock scene, from the reggae and ska band scene, from the heavy metal scene. They all, and I've been in a few of them over the years in music, and it's funny how promoters are to artists, how venues are to artists, how the platform is. Do you get paid at all? Is it like some types of music you're never getting paid? I can tell you. But there's some that, you know, you do, it's lucrative and you make money off. It's just funny how it changes tides and it switches up, because you might be in metal and not make a single damn dollar, and then you switch to something else, and the next thing you know, metal's huge and everybody in metal's making money. It's funny how it switches around like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. What do they say? If all else fails, start a country band. You know?
That's it. I mean, especially in our area. I mean, you could do well with that. Country's big over here in Pennsylvania, and it's big on this side of the country, and it's big pretty much all over. But I mean, there's certain areas that are certainly a lot more country than others.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's weird here.
A little bit. It's a difficult scene because there's certain subgroups that follow you and want to be a part of your music, but the Pittsburgh and the Pennsylvania music scene, it's an odd one. I mean, I got to say we're lucky though that we are around Ohio. Ohio seems to always have had, and it still does have a very good music scene. And I've played a lot of shows in Ohio, and I love them. The fans there are great. They seem to always come out and support still. But like in Pittsburgh and a lot of other places, it's hard to get people to really come out of their homes, I've noticed. Maybe that's just our genre, but I'm not sure about you guys. But I just noticed that these shows are not near like they used to be as far as attendance.
Yeah, it's, you know, I think it's a working class. You know, we have the football teams. That's been our bread and butter when it comes to, you know, camaraderie between everybody in the city. And, I think that's where they really show up for. And you know, national acts, whoever, you know, is getting played on the radio, of course, you know, if they're filling up the PPG arena, guarantee, you know, people are going to be going out to that. It's just I think there's been a lot more of a push for local stuff, especially on the radio. And I've been listening to it more because, like, hey, some of the bands that we've actually played with are, playing coffee house sessions in the morning on 102.5. So, that's, I think, a super big step in the right direction when it comes to, getting us out there, because it's a very, like, influencer kind of based kind of thing. And I think it always has been around here.
And I think you guys could definitely make steps like that as well. And I think you guys will, because it's great to see that, like you said, that they are pushing for, more local music to get out there. And once again, that depends upon the scene that you see that in. But in this specific scene for you guys, if they are pushing that, take it and captivate on that and keep making sure you do everything you can. Send press kits out to these stations. Send press kits out to anyone around looking to book and anything, because the more you get out, the more you're going to get your chances to be on 102.5 or whatever station you might be trying to get on. And I think you guys, if you can get on that broader scale, I think you guys will gain a lot of fans, because, like I said, you guys have a sound that sticks.
Oh, thank you. We just have to find the right radio-friendly 3.5-minute song,
That's the tough part. You have a lot of guidelines to it. That's the thing, is it's not just, we're a good band. It's, you have to be a good band
I
who
like
fits a
to swear,
demographic.
too.
Yeah, I got somewhat of a potty mouth myself, so.
Yeah, I gotta keep it, Will Smith
PG,
style.
PG-13.
So I went on a radio station many years ago, and it wasn't internet radio; it was an actual radio station, and they had me and my partner at the time do a rap session, back and forth, and me and him had talked before the show, and we're like, there can be no swearing. And I kept thinking he was going to swear. And I'm like, make sure, bro, you don't swear. I said it like to him 5 times. He's like, I'm not going to swear. I'm like, all right. We get out there and they come on. It was 2 women hosts. They're talking. They have me and him go back and forth. And me and him are killing it. And we're just going back and forth. And then out of nowhere, my one line, I don't remember what I said, but I'm like, fucking son of a bitch, something. And then I remember stopping dead. And I looked at the 2 women, and they both looked at me, and I'm like, oh, man, I told this guy how many times, don't mess up. I'm like, and it was me that did it. And they jumped over, and they tried to hit the delay button, which it'll catch you if you get it within, like, 3 seconds. It'll, like, bleep it out. They missed it. So, like, they didn't hit it in time, so it was, like, live on radio. I was like, you fucking bitch, or something like that in the song, and I'm like, yep, that was me. I'm like,
your first FCC violation.
That was it. And I'm thinking, that was my one and last interview with this station. They were pretty cool about it, though. That was before the internet radio thing got big.
You got to shop that around.
Absolutely. That was the same night some guy called and pranked me, my group. Like, it was me and my buddy, like I said, on a rap group together. He called and pranked us during the radio show. It was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that gets you publicity anymore, You got to, have some sort of bad something happen to you, or like that.
That's sad to say, but that is true. That you have to have so and so had a nip slip, and they're like, oh, she's booming now. She got a number 1 hit.
My balls came out. Yep.
My balls were stuck to my kneecap, and next thing you know, I was a rock star.
Yep.
We kind of
the old Lenny Kravitz.
That's it. And before you jumped on the line, Dave, we were talking about Jake and I were talking about how the industry has really changed because of digital platform, and how it's pretty much switched everything from not only how you make and write music, but how fans perceive it, how we sell it, where honestly a single anymore can get you as much publicity as your album does. And if you just do that and you know how to promote correctly on social media, that's all you really need. A single can do you as much as a whole album. So that's some of the other stuff that you missed during that first segment of that. But it's kind of crazy to think about, how much everything has kind of flip-flopped over the last several years.
I'm just a firm believer that no matter what era it is, what year it is, any of that, if you piss people off with what you're playing, it's going to be popular. That's the surefire thing. Just piss a bunch of old people off, and then it's going to be a hit. So I mean, whatever you have to do for that time period, I guess.
You can't even shock anybody anymore.
I'll tell you what, I should be bigger than I am then, because I'll tell you what, my music, I'm sure, is probably pretty offensive to a lot of people. Here's the thing, I don't even write it to be offensive. I just write what comes from the heart, and it just happens to be very dark and offensive things.
Yeah, for sure. But they're like your meter, you know what I mean? Like that's like your temperature gauge.
That's it. I'm a really nice guy in real life. It's just whenever I jump on the mic, I just have a lot of really bad things to say.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, that's all you got to do. And, dye your hair rainbow colors and shit like that,
I don't know about any of that. I think I'll stick away from all that shit. But real quick question for you guys. I ask every artist that's on the show this question, and I need to know your guys' answer as well, because no one escapes this question.
Oh, no.
You had to battle and fight to the death either a horse-sized beaver or 100 beaver-sized horses. Which would you choose, and why?
Oh, man. Dave?
I'd probably go with the beavers. Wait, the horse-sized.
It's either a horse-sized beaver or 100 beaver-sized horses.
The beaver-sized horses, because I think I could just kick the shit out of them.
Okay.
And punch probably, but that one big ass beaver, that'd be pretty hard because that thing will fuck you up. That's like a boss at the end of a Nintendo level or something,
I was thinking like it depends, like if it's the whole band, but I guess it really doesn't. I'd still take the beaver-sized horses.
I think that's been a commonality between almost all the answers I've ever gotten that question, except I forget, there was one, maybe two people that were like, I'm taking on that fucking beaver. And I'm like, all right, man, good luck to you. I was saying to our guest last week, it was Torchface, a rapper from South Carolina, and I was telling him the week before him was the Bianca Jasmine touring pop rock band, and she
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. She her answer was awesome. She's like, well, really, I don't have any hatred towards anything. And she's like, I would go over and I would reason with the horses. She's like, and I would climb on one of its backs and I would ride it off into the sunset and let it know that we can be at peace with one another. And I'm like,
I'd keep
wow,
one for
all right.
a pet,
I'm like, all right then. I mean, I was not seeing that answer coming, but I really appreciate it. And then one of the other questions I always ask every guest, just to kind of sidetrack it a little bit, because we've been in deep conversation about all kinds of shit. We got to break up the monotony here. What animal would you choose if the animals were to take over the world, and there was one specific animal that could be ruler of them all? What do you guys individually choose, and why?
Oh, jeez. You start this one, Jay.
Oh, man. I don't know, man.
So this animal's way of life is your government, essentially?
This animal became smarter, and it's learned how to pretty much take over the planet, and it's going to be the ultimate ruler and boss of them all, almost like the people are the world right now. What animal would it be? And
you have to relate to this animal's ideals or whatever?
Not necessarily. That's taking it much deeper and stonerish than I was trying to go with it. But I mean,
okay.
I like it. Just simply, what animal would take over? I mean, I'm just thinking not necessarily so much political, but
what would just naturally rule?
Naturally, yeah.
It got to be the biggest one, man. Probably a bear or something, man. I don't know.
But see, that's the logic though. Is what do you pick? Because I've had people pick bears and all kinds of large animals, but then I've had people say something as small as ants. And they've given pretty good reasons, because ants, there's millions of them. So if ants, millions upon millions, came out and attacked you at one time, how do you stop something so small? Yeah, you can crush them, but there's just an endless field of them.
That's a pretty good point, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an in-depth, it's a much bigger than face value, the question. There's a lot of different reasons. Someone said the honey badger.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're not afraid of anything.
They don't give a shit.
And they get bit by poisonous snakes and it doesn't even faze them.
Yeah. No, I think every region would have its, its primary, what do you want to call it, carnivore or whatever,
Bees.
We'd probably have bears and stuff like that around here. Africa would have lions and it'd just be like they'd just make their own, like, it'd just be like how everything is now with people. You know?
Yeah, have its
I
own
don't think it
roller.
changes much. The majority rules, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I like it. So let's go ahead. We got time for one more song, and then we'll finish up with a couple last minute questions and end everything. This one, we're going to jump into content creator. You guys want to give us a interlude into this song? What the song process was for this, or what the song's about, and we'll go ahead and drop into it.
This is Dave's tune.
It goes out to all my homies and the multimedia and communications fields, basically, in a nutshell.
Well, let's
About
hear
creating
it.
content.
About creating content, folks. You heard it right here from FUBAR themselves. This is Content Creator, and we'll be right back on Uncovering the Underground.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. The entertainment age is here at last. Too many racing, but not enough gas. Marketing off a bill of fuels. It's not immoral when there are no rules. Yeah, and I'm just like any other guy. I try to stick a finger in the pie. Sometimes love it ain't enough. The crust is too thick. My gun is getting tired, and we just keep on doing what we do. No time for me. I got no time for you. You better get with it. Oh, you will never get this. All I really gotta say to you, you get treated the way you do. So when I'm old and lonely, you'll be old and better. I'll see you later, 'cause I am a content creator, and you're the frustrator, my constant source of inspiration, creation. I hope you're having fun. I hope you like what we have done. We need you to try it. We're begging you to buy it. All it takes is a place and time, some decent music and a catchy rhyme, and people telling people that nobody is equal. Your flashy clothes and your attitude, demanding looks for your latitude. Believe you're on the level. This life is yours to revel. I'll see you later, 'cause I am a content creator, and you're the frustrator, my constant source of inspiration, creation. Yeah, I hope you're having fun. I hope you like what we have done. We need you to try it. We're begging you to buy it. All it takes is a place and time, some decent music and a catchy rhyme, and people telling people that no one is equal. All I really gotta say to you, you get treated the way you do. So when I'm old and lonely, you'll be old and you'll be old and you'll be old and you'll be old and bad.
And we're back on Uncovering the Underground, and that was Content Creator by FUBAR. If you like that song, drop it a like, drop them a follow, and a share on all of your platform that you use, Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter. I don't know what the fuck all these guys are on, because there's too many sites anymore to stay with them all. Just look them up on everything. Google that bitch. Google it, and then you'll find them. You know what? That's the great thing anymore is, you know what? You don't need to know where someone's at. Just Google the name, and Google will link you to everything. Google is God. Bow down to it.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great song. Like I said, that's one of my personal favorites. I love the whole album, but for some reason I just fucking dig that song. So, kudos to you guys for that one. And why don't you tell everybody a little bit where they can actually check all your music out? Where can they follow you guys at? Where can they find out about your shows, buy your music, and your merch, anything like that?
Popcorn Jake.
So, merch, shows, definitely buy it at shows. Come to shows. If you want something, message us or whatever. We'll get it to you. We don't really have like a online merch store officially, I guess. There's one on our website, but it's just like a fulfillment center kind of thing. Like all the legit merch you can get at the shows. Tickets, hit us up on Facebook or any of the socials. We can get you some tickets. Same with CDs.
Deliver them,
yeah, we'll deliver them to your door.
On a bike.
Get us on Spotify, subscribe and follow us and do all that fun stuff. iTunes, all those sites. FUBARPGH.com. That's our website. That's FUBAR and then PGH, like Pittsburgh abbreviation.com. Check it out.
Check it out, folks. Like I said, give them a follow, give them a like, show them some love. Who would you like to take a moment to give your thank yous and shout outs to anybody you'd like to give a shout out to and show love to?
There's so many good local bands, man. I don't know. I have to say Habitat, Keystone Vibe, First Hit, Highway Louie,
RDP.
RDP.
Shout out to RDP.
Trailheads, Eris Paul Band. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, if I forget any, I'm going to feel bad. Broctopus for having us on Garefest, man.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty? What?
Yeah, dude. Thanks to him.
Shout out to Tom Petty. It's a shame you died, my man. You were an amazing, amazing artist.
We could say thanks to Dakota at our Devil Inside Records.
No,
I wanted to ask you about that, so I'll tell you what, because we're going to finish it up. I was going to get ready to close down the show, but I was going to ask one last question to Dave, and I can do that and let him finish it out since he didn't get near as much time. Why don't you tell us about the recent signing to Devil Inside Records?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was, Jake's been the one more or less coordinating with that, but, it's super cool.
I'm the coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, it's
we're just psyched to be working with them. It's like, they got a lot of influence, and Dakota's got a lot of, talent and stuff between him and their team, and we're just looking forward to having them behind us. So they're the first ones that really showed some interest in working with us and getting us out there and helping us get to where we want to be in music. So it's I don't know, it's just good to have somebody in your corner with you, other than obviously our bandmates and everything, but it's good to have somebody, backing you up.
No, it really is. And Dakota and his team and Devil Inside Records, they do a very good job. I'm watching them for a little while. They had some involvement with a band that I was good friends with that are no longer together. I think they still are, but I was friends with the lead singer, and she's no longer with the band. So they're no longer on the label. But they also had signed, at the same time that they signed you, they had also signed Dematis, which is my guest about 3 weeks back. Great melodic metal band with a female singer, a three-piece. Yeah, they were on the show 3 weeks ago. And
the drummer is okay, so me and him both fingerboard in the underground scene.
That's what I can ask you about. Yes, I'm supposed to ask you, and I'll let you finish out with that tonight then. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your fingerboard extravaganzas that you've had over time and how you got into that, and then we'll wrap up the show for the night.
Oh man, it's just something I've been doing for a while. I always liked skateboarding, but I sucked at it. So to pay homage to it, I got into that. But anyway, my one friend and former bandmate Kevin got me into it one day, showed me some people that made wood decks. He showed me a company called Primo at the time, which any OG would know what Primo is. But yeah, and ever since that was early 2000s, and I've been into that for forever pretty much. I got a deck company thing that I'm doing right now called It's been around for a while. But yeah, I've just been getting back into the online scene and ended up linking up with Ryan, the drummer from Dematis, however you pronounce that. Yeah, I think it's Dematis.
Dematis. I had the same thing when I first had him on a show. Before I even went on live, I'm like, how do you guys say your name? I'm a fan. I'm like, but I don't know how the hell to say it. They're like, it's Dematis. I'm like, well, thank God you told me that, because I definitely would have butchered it.
Oh yeah, I thought it was Dematis, so it's Dematis. Okay, got it. I'll remember that.
No,
Cool.
it's just cool. It just happened to be that they're like a kick-ass metal band. And yeah, he's been living around the area for the last, I don't know, like 5 years or so, he said. So yeah, it was just a small world, and it was just funny how that worked out, because after I met him, we had the announcement that, like, you know, we're on the label, and he was like, he mentioned that, and I was just like, oh man, like, holy shit. Like, I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff. I'm just kind of walking around oblivious, but yeah, so it just, you know, it's just funny how that worked out. Small world. So
it's definitely a small world, and I think that we've talked about fingerboarding way more than I ever originally anticipated on this show when I made it.
Oh, dude, it's sick with it. Come out to the show. I got FUBAR graphic decks, so, you know, we'll
it is
hook you up with
interesting.
one.
I mean, I've never really thought about the concept of it until I had them on the show, and they brought that up, and we're talking about it. I'm like, well, that is very interesting. And then I know that I talked to them maybe a week later.
Dude, he's sick with it. He's sponsored and everything.
Yeah, he told me to ask you about it too. He says, "Oh, you need to check him out." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll definitely bring it up." I'm glad you remember.
I'm old and washed up. I'm just kind of here, just doing it for love, you know.
Doing it for the love is the only reason to do it, my man. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah,
well,
for
we
sure.
are going to go ahead and finish up for the evening. I want to thank you guys, obviously, for being on the show. Real quick before anyone tunes out for the night, for any Brutal Business Entertainment updates, check out www.teambrutalbusiness.com. That is teambrutalbusiness.com. For any of my other upcoming radio shows, whether it be Uncovering the Underground, which you're listening to right now, whether it be my other radio show, Celestial Oddities, Pair of Normal Guys podcast, it be any of our artists' new music, our models' new photo releases, whatever it might be, you can find out about the entire label's new material coming out on the website. We do want to thank our sponsors once again: Tattooed Scumbag, Legion Artwork, Roush Designs, R3 Graphics, and 5 Milligram Artwork. Thank you guys for sponsoring me, my show, and my label. We appreciate it. Next week, we are tuning in. It'll be the 29th, and we have Young Hearst, who is a hip-hop artist, on the show. We are doing a pre-recorded episode this Saturday with Lily Rockwood, who is someone I'm very excited to have on the show and interview. A beautiful model. She's done a lot of great things with her career, and we're definitely going to talk about that. And then we'll be putting up some info on when that'll be dropping here soon, but we are recording that on Saturday. And then next Tuesday, which would be the 28th, you can check out the newest episode of Celestial Oddities right here on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, CastBox, anywhere else you can listen to online podcasts. So check out the shows, hit the share button, hit the follow. The more you do that, the bigger we move up in the ranks, the more we're seen, the bigger and better things we can do. And we appreciate you guys checking out the show. And as always, support local music. Before I go and let you guys go, we did get a comment from Jay Allen saying that song was fucking sick. And he was talking about content creators. So it seems that you got some people out there digging it, which is awesome. And once again, like I said, we'll have to get you guys on the show again down the road. Keep doing what you're doing. I will be making it out to a show sometime soon. And I appreciate you guys being on the show tonight.
Hey, thanks for having us, man. We get a ticket with your name on it whenever you can make it.
I appreciate it, brother. I will, certainly. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night.
Take it easy, man.
Peace.
Later. All right, guys. Well, once again, we appreciate you checking us out. We're actually going to finish with last song from these guys. We're going to play Happy Pill and finish it out for the night. And we'll catch you next week on Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast. Take care.
It's a brand new day, so throw the thoughts and get out of my way. Stepping out in a mood that's cool. I do it every day if I could. You something I could use. Some magic pill that would go take away my blues. Oh, but I know the answer to my problem ain't so clear. So here again I stand and I stare in the front of the mirror. The moon is out, it's a brand new night. I'm driving around with my one and nine. The world's a mess in my mind.